4th January 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 223 of the Constitution, Section 39 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A and Standing Order 243. 1. Approves an increase of the current expenditure for 2024-2025 by Kenya shillings 39,114,991,340 in respect to the votes contained in the first schedule. 2. Approves the decrease of the total capital expenditure for financial year 2024-2025 by Kenya shillings 3,378,082,314 in respect of the votes contained in first schedule. 3. Approves an overall increase in the total budget for financial year 2024-2025 by Kenya shillings 35,739,909,026 in respect to the votes contained in the first schedule. 4. Approves the expenditures under Article 223 of the Constitution as contained in the fourth schedule. And 5. Resolves that the first schedule forms the basis for the introduction of Supplementary Appropriation Number 2, Bill 2025. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Chairperson, Constitution and Implementation Oversight Committee.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion: that this House adopts the report of the Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 24th June 2025, on the status of implementation of the Constitution by, number 1, the Office of the Controller of Budget, number 2, the Commission on Revenue Allocation, and 3, the Office of the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, while on this, allow me, Mr. Speaker, to say something a little bit different. Mr. Speaker,
what is it?
Mr. Speaker,
yes.
Mr. Speaker, I noticed in the media, mainstream media today, the print media, that my name has been splashed in headline news as a warmonger. While, Mr. Speaker, I will not be intimidated by the media, allow me to say, Mr. Speaker, that the events of...
Order, Kamket, I'll give you an opportunity at statement time, which is the next order. Just take your seat. Next, Chairperson, Public Debt and Privatization Committee.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion: that this House adopts the report of the Public Debt and Privatization Committee on its consideration of the Consolidated Fund Services for the Supplementary Estimates 3 for financial year 2024-2025, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 24th June 2025.
Thank you. Next, Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. Molo. Give your notice of motion.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion: that this House adopts a report of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on its consideration on the ratification of the agreement establishing the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, laid on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 24th of June 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8.4 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act, Cap 4D, that this House approves the ratification of the agreement establishing the European Bank for Reconciliation and Development. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Kamket, I give you 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was saying, Mr. Speaker, that Mr. Speaker, the Honorable William Kamket, member for Tiati, is a prince of peace.
Do you know what a prince of peace means?
Yes, you are looking at one, Mr. Speaker.
Eh?
I am a prince of peace, indeed.
You are not.
The Kamket they are referring to, Mr. Speaker, is a different Kamket, it's a Kamket of the media.
Order, Kamket. Call yourself a peace-loving member. You are not a prince of peace.
I'm a peace-loving Kenyan.
Yes.
And indeed a prince of peace.
Order, strike out the words prince of peace from the Hansard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You are not.
I am a peace-loving Kenyan.
That's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while I shall not be intimidated, Mr. Speaker, it is on record, and it shall remain on record, Mr. Speaker, that the events of 25th of June last year were nothing other than an attempted civilian coup that was led by none other than the former Deputy President, whom we impeached in this House, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, the activities that they are now planning to commemorate the attempted overthrow of our constitutionally elected government shall not be tolerated by all peace-loving Kenyans, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
And therefore, Mr. Speaker...
Yes,
Mr. Speaker.
What was in the papers?
Mr. Speaker, there is an attempt. There is an attempt by the print media.
Just listen to your speaker. Because I read all the papers studiously. By 4 a.m. I've read all of them. And what they said of you is that you are a warmonger and you are spewing out hate material against people in the country. So limit yourself to that.
Yes.
Yes.
And Mr. Speaker, indeed, Mr. Speaker, the real inciters to hatred in this country is the media, Mr. Speaker. And especially the print media, Mr. Speaker. They are the ones who have been inciting our youth by bringing issues that are foreign to them, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, by trying to paint leaders who paint that what they are doing or what they are planning is wrong, and trying to paint them in bad light, it's an attempt to intimidate leaders, Mr. Speaker. And I'm standing in this House to say, Mr. Speaker, that what happened last year was indeed an attempted civilian coup, and it shall be said so, Mr. Speaker. I will continue saying so. And those who are planning to bring our children to the streets tomorrow are the people we are addressing, Mr. Speaker. And we are telling them that they shall not escape the rule of law, whoever they are, Mr. Speaker. And by trying to intimidate peace-loving Kenyans like myself, they shall not succeed, and they will not succeed at all times. Those people are inciters. They are the worst inciters this country has seen, and we shall call them for who they are. Me, as Member of Parliament for Tiati, Mr. Speaker, I am a peace-loving Kenyan, and I'll ensure that if ever any Kenyan is demonstrating peacefully, they will go home. We will ensure that they'll go home peacefully. But anybody who comes with the intention of destroying properties of others, anybody who comes with the intention of disturbing the peace shall be met with the full force of the law. It cannot be right, Mr. Speaker, that those who are inciting Kenyans, those who are inciting our youth are left scot-free. And therefore, when we call them out, we are called warmongers. That shall not be allowed, Mr. Speaker.
Point made. Mashua Waithaka. Mashua Waithaka. Give Mashua Waithaka, member for Kiambu, the mic. Lenga kule alipo.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding the disappearance of Mr. Ruben Varwa, a Kenyan in the United States of America. Honorable Speaker, On 13 May 2025, Mr. Ruben Varwa of ID number 550886 and his wife, who reside in Lumberi in Kiambu constituency, traveled to the state of Alabama in the U.S. to visit their son. Upon arrival on the 14th May 2025, Mr. Varwa fell ill and his son took him to receive medical attention in a nearby hospital. However, the following day, on the 14th May 2025, Mr. Varwa reportedly left the house for a walk and has not been seen or heard from since. The matter was reported to Calera Police Station in Alabama. It's now been 4 weeks since his disappearance, yet no substantial update has been communicated to the family regarding the process of investigations. This has left the family in a state of uncertainty and distress. The situation has also raised concern about the safety and well-being of Kenyans abroad, as well as the effectiveness of our diplomatic interventions in such instances. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following. 1, a report on the status of investigations into the disappearance of Mr. Ruben Varwa in the U.S. 2, measures being undertaken by the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs to assist in locating and the whereabouts of Mr. Varwa, including coordination with the U.S. authorities and provision of regular updates to his family. And 3, long-term strategies taken by the government to enhance the safety and welfare of Kenyans traveling abroad. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, Defense, Intelligence and Foreign. Major Bashir, you are the Vice Chair, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, when can you bring a response? I know we are recessing on Thursday, but because of the importance of the matter, try and furnish the honorable member with some written response in 2 weeks. Then we can mention the matter when we resume.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well guided, and I think we shall do that. Within 2 weeks, we'll be able to give him a response and formally bring it to the House after recess. Thank you.
Thank you. Ekwam Nabwin. Yes, Honorable Nabwin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Orders number 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding the status of investigations into Todonyang massacre. Honorable Speaker, on 22nd February 2025, armed assailants believed to be members of the Dasnash militia from the neighboring country of Ethiopia carried out a brutal cross-border attack on the villages of Lotira and Lopeimukat in Todonyang location, Turkana County. The attackers targeted innocent civilians, mainly fishermen and small-scale traders, leading to the loss of more than 40 Kenyans and destruction of critical fishing equipment. In addition, the attackers left many families grieving the loss of their loved ones and without their primary means of livelihood. Despite this tragic event, similar deadly attacks have continued to occur within Kenyan territory, raising serious concerns about the security of the people at the border and underscoring the need for swift action to be taken. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following. 1, a report on the status of investigations into the Todonyang massacre that occurred on 22nd February 2025 including the steps taken to collaborate with the Ethiopian authorities to apprehend the culprits. 2, the measures put in place to address security breaches at Kenyan border along Lake Turkana, and confirmation whether the security forces have been deployed to ensure protection of these Kenyans at the border. 3, the steps taken by the Ministry of Defense through the KDF to protect the fishermen along Lake Turkana during their fishing expeditions. And 4, the measures put in place to ensure that the families of victims are compensated and an indication of when they will receive their compensation. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Bashir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have heard the request for statement, and that was a very unfortunate incident on the 22nd February 2025. Honorable Speaker, I think I will also equally say the same response as earlier given, that we'll be able to give the Honorable Member a written submission in 2 weeks' time, and after recess, we'll bring a statement to the floor of the House after recess.
Thank you. Responses. Bashir again to a request by Honorable Jane Kagiri, member for Laikipia. Is Jane Kagiri in the House? The questioner is not in the House. To be fair to her, we can stay the question, rather the statement response. If she comes before end of statement time, we can deal with it. Transport and infrastructure. Response to a request by Joseph Gitari. Is Joseph Gitari in the House? Yes, he is. GK, go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the member for Kirinyaga Central, the Honorable Joseph Gitari, MP, requested for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the status of construction and rehabilitation of roads in Kirinyaga Central constituency. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Gashoki sought to, among other things, establish the status of the following road projects in Kirinyaga. Is Kiamudhambi Gatuto Road, Kagumo Kangaita Road, Kerogoya Prisons to Kemande Road, Kerogoya Gaos, Kandakame Road, Kevingo Keratina Road, Mungedha Gitumbe Mugwande Road, and Motira Kagumo Kiamaina Gaduduma Kianjage Road. B, report on the status of rehabilitation works for the following roads: Gakoigo Kiandieri Kangaita Road and Miringairi Kiawakara Road. And 3, interventions by the ministry to ensure the completion of these projects, including specific completion dates. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport on 14th May 2025, which I now wish to make. Regarding reports on the status of the following roads, Kiamudhambe, Kerogoya Gaos, Mugedha roads, the ministry submitted that these roads are in the project contract number RWC 286 under Jiang's Water Hydropower Construction Company Limited as the contractor. The roads are currently incomplete because the contractor suspended works since October 2022 due to delayed payments amounting to Kenya shillings 383 million. 2, the original completion date was 4th October 2020. The revised project completion date was 1st May 2022. The current project physical progress is at 85.5% against 160.90% time elapsed. The ministries further submitted that Kiamudhambe Gatuto Road, covering 2.68 kilometers, has stalled after completion of the base layer construction. The Kirogoya Gaos Kandakame Road, covering 1.96 kilometers, has been halted after the first seal surface layer was laid, with a 100-meter section remaining unconstructed due to unresolved well issues. The Mungedha Gitumbe Mugwande Road, covering 3.818 kilometers, has similarly stalled following the completion of its base layer construction. All these three projects currently remain incomplete, with work suspended at these various stages of development. Honorable Speaker, regarding Kagumo Kangaita Road, the ministry submitted that this road link is in the project contract number RWC 621 under China Wuyi Company as the contractor. A section of 4.2 kilometers along Kagumo Kangaita is complete, with the remaining 2.75 incomplete. The contractor has not been on site since December 2024 due to delayed payment of an amount of Kenya shillings 141.5 million. The original completion date was 26 July 2024. The current project physical progress is at that 1.85 against 120.99% time elapsed. Regarding Motira, Kagumo, Kiamaina, Gadudoma, Kianjagi Road, the ministry submitted that these roads are in the project contract number RWC 549 under China Wuyi Company Limited as the contractor. A section of 6.5 kilometers along Motira, Kagumo is complete, and the remaining 10.75 incomplete. There are no ongoing works because the contractor has suspended works since November. The contractor suspended works since November 2024 due to delayed payments amounting to Kenya shillings 290.5 million. The original completion date was 2nd July 2022. The revised project completion date was 12th February 2024. And the current project physical progress is 1.84 against 120.46% time elapsed. Honorable Speaker, regarding Kerogoya prisons, Kimande Road and Kibingo Karatina Road, the ministry stated that the two roads are under the county government jurisdiction. Regarding status of rehabilitation works for Kakoigo, Kiandieri, Kangaita Road, that is 13.08 kilometers, the ministry submitted that the road project forms part of RWC 286 under Jiangxi Water Hydro Construction Company Limited. The roads shall be rehabilitated by the contractor upon the scheduled resumption of works On Meringairi, Kiawakara Road, the ministry submitted that this road was constructed under Road 2000 program, which was completed in January 2021. The rehabilitation of this road has been factored in the RMLF 10% funding for financial year 24-25. The original completion date for the project was 21st January 2021, and the project is 100% complete. Regarding interventions by the ministry to ensure the completion of these projects, including specific completion dates, the ministry submitted that through the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, the ministry shall communicate the specific completion dates for the stalled projects upon resolution of the funding challenges that has caused the slowing down of or complete withdrawal of contractors from site. Towards this end, the ministry has made requests for enhanced annual budgetary allocations to enable the offsetting of the enormous pending bills or to contractors for road work certified countrywide, including those in Kirinyaga County. In addition, the ministry has initiated several interventions towards settling pending bills, including actively exploring alternative financing initiatives and seeking support from development partners. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Budgetary, you satisfied? We move on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not fully satisfied, but I sympathize with my friend, my neighbor, Honorable GK, because he was not the author of this reply. Mr. Speaker, my statement was a bit specific. And one of the things I was asking in number C was the actual completion date. Not the completion dates that were there before 2024, 2022. Mr. Speaker, I'm coming from a premise that Mutira Kagumo Kiamaina Gadodoma Road, even the president came and launched it. And to my thinking was that maybe there was money for that, and people of Kirinyaga are still waiting for that. Mr. Speaker, on this other road, Kerogoya Girls, Kandakame Road, Mr. Speaker, it has been there for a very long time. So I was imagining that the chairman would have consulted the ministry properly because he comes from the same zone and to get appropriate answer, Mr. Speaker.
Have you brought an inappropriate answer?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I actually know these roads, not just by name, but I know where they are located. These are roads that I have used in Kirinyaga County.
Is your statement factual?
So my statement is factual in as far as the funding challenge is concerned. I think that's the main point here, Honorable Speaker. It's not about the timelines, but availability of resources to complete these projects. I didn't want to see these projects completed myself because I am Honorable Getare's countermate, and we'll do our best to support him and to support the people of Kirinyaga and, by extension, the people of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to the next. Transport and infrastructure. Is Lelmengit in the house? Joses Lelmengit is not in the house. Is Jen Kagiri in the house now? Yes, Wangari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before you exit that order, just to remind you, Mr. Speaker, last Thursday I requested for that statement on gambling from the Chair Finance. You instructed that I write to your office, which I did. Maybe you can give the direction so that we know the way forward before the recess. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I directed the clerk to cause the chairman to bring a response. Chairman, tomorrow or Thursday, are you able?
So, Honorable Speaker, I thank you for your indulgence, and I want to issue an apology to the Honorable Martha Wangari for the delay in this. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, there were several other businesses that were referred to my committee, but we'll do our best to make sure we have a report by Thursday.
That's why I didn't put any pressure on you, because I knew the load of business that was before you. Can you do so on Thursday?
I'll do so on Thursday, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. So statement requests and responses for Jane Kagiri, member for Laikipia, and Joses Lelimengit will be stayed until Thursday. Hopefully they will be here. So Major Bashir and GK, be ready for Thursday. Next order.
Order number 8, procedural motion. Extension of sittings and resolution to hold a Thursday morning sitting.
Majority Leader, but before you order members on their feet, take your seats. Richard, take your seat. Honorable members, allow me to recognize a visiting delegation from the bicameral legislature of Nigeria. I wish to introduce to you a visiting delegation of members drawn from the Committee on Constitutional Review of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who are seated in the Speaker's row. They comprise of the following: the Right Honorable Professor Julius Ihonvere. When I mention your name, you stand. House Majority Leader and Deputy Chairman of the Select Committee and Head of Delegation. Honorable Fatima Talba, Member. Honorable Rotimi Oluwaseni, Member. Honorable Omobi Oga, Member. Honorable Kabiru Amadou Mai Palace, Member. Honorable Ajia Abdurrahman, Member. And 7, Wali Baba Shehu, Clerk of the House of Representatives. And Professor Kathleen Okafor, Committee Consultant. The delegation is accompanied by senior House and Senate staff, as well as an external partners from the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center of Nigeria. Honorable members, the Select Committee is currently considering several amendments to bills, one of which is seeking to create additional women-only seats in the national and subnational legislatures of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They are here to benchmark on the best practices and legislative interventions that enhance women's political representation and to engage in peer learning on measures adopted in Kenya towards actualization of that goal. Honorable members, on my behalf and on that of the entire National Assembly, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them fruitful deliberations and engagements during their stay. Sure. Majority Leader, the lead of delegation being your counterpart, I give you a minute to lend. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the House, allow me to take this opportunity also to welcome that delegation from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As you've heard, Honorable Speaker, members were, as they acclaimed and welcomed them, they were all saying Igwe.
Yes.
As you called out their names and led by their leader of majority, let me say Karibu to Kenya, and may you take your time to learn as much as you can. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, we are a country where many African countries can learn from ourselves and the Republic of Rwanda on women representation in the House. And I think Kenya being a universal suffrage system of election of women leaders is a better place to learn from rather than where it is party-based, Honorable Speaker, and therefore this delegation is in the right place. And I do hope that the chair of the caucus of the 47 women reps can get time to also engage with this delegation and be able to guide them on what amendments they could enact in their legislation. With that, Honorable Speaker, allow me to...
Before you do so, I've been requested by Wangari to lend support to your voice of welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of yourself and the panel today, led by the Deputy Speaker, we were able to host this delegation for an intense, almost an hour and a half discussion. And there is a lot of exchange that we have learned from each other, from the two countries. But more importantly, on what they're working on, Mr. Speaker, we are a country, as the majority leader has said, that they can be able to copy a lot from, because in the Nigerian Senate, out of 109 members, only 4 are women. In the House of Representatives, out of 360, only 16 are women. So in total, they only have 4% representation of women. And I think this was the right place to come for this benchmarking. We have shared a lot in terms of the legislations that we have put in place. We have also shared a lot, Mr. Speaker, on the constitutional journey that this country has traveled to be able to get to where we are, Mr. Speaker. So I know they'll still be here for a few more days. They should be having a meeting on Thursday with the Kenya women parliamentarians, so that we also exchange notes on how we can help them to frame the legal framework for their country. And we are happy to always welcome them back to this country, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Majority Leader. You can now proceed with your motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, maybe before I move, it's also important to note, as Honorable Mother Wangari says, we also came from where Nigeria is today.
Yes.
There was a time there were very few women, elected women members of parliament in this country.
Tell them when I first came to this parliament in 1992, there were 3 elected women.
Yes, including the Honorable Wanjiru.
Including the prophetess.
Yes. So Honorable Speaker, I was saying is indeed a long walk for us to get to where we are.
Yes.
And I do hope that the Republic of Nigeria, being an African powerhouse like Kenya in the western part of Africa, just like Kenya is a powerhouse in Eastern Africa, they will lead from the front. And Africa is better with more women representing their people, both in the legislature and in the executive. And we look forward, Honorable Speaker, to a time when Nigeria and Kenya will have women presidents leading our 2 great countries. And I do hope, Honorable Speaker, that we'll be able to see this in our lifetime. And I know in this House there are very many capable women who can be future presidents of this republic after the 10 years of President William Ruto. Honorable Speaker, allow me to move a procedural motion on order number 8, that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 33A and B, on hours of meeting, this House resolves to 1. Extend sittings of Wednesday, 25th June 2025 afternoon sitting and Thursday, 26th June 2025 afternoon sitting to midnight for purposes of consideration of priority business ahead of the short recess. And 2. To hold a morning sitting on Thursday, 26th June 2025, commencing at 9:30 a.m. Honorable Speaker, this motion is pursuant to what we agreed in the House Business Committee this lunch hour, that to allow us to conclude with all the important business that we have before we proceed on our short recess on Thursday evening, that we slot in a Thursday morning sitting and extend the sittings tomorrow up to midnight, and also Thursday to extend the sitting up to midnight, so that we may conclude all the important business that we have, including the supplementary appropriations bill, whose debate the chair has just given notice, the virtual assets bill that again the chair has just tabled, the chair finance has just tabled its report, and all the other priority business that we have on the order paper for today, tomorrow, and the day after, Honorable Speaker. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request the Honorable Osoro to second.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. As the majority leader has rightly put it, Honorable Speaker, looking at the calendar of this House, Honorable Speaker, this House will be proceeding for recess from Thursday. And it's quite in order for us to dispense of every business that we have before us very serious business that we have before us, as we indeed discussed in the House Business Committee, before we proceed. So with that, Honourable Speaker, I beg to second.
Thank you. Members on their feet, take your seats. Take your seats. Major Deco, take the nearest seat. Honourable members, I'll now propose the question at order number 8, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders 33A and B, hours of meeting, this House resolves to 1. Extend sittings of Wednesday, 25th June 2025, afternoon sitting, and Thursday, 26th June 2025, afternoon sitting to midnight, for purposes of consideration of priority business ahead of the short recess. And number 2, hold a morning sitting on Thursday, 26th June 2025, commencing at 9:30 a.m. Do I put the question, members? I'll now put the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders 33A and B, hours of meeting, this House resolves to 1. Extend sittings of Wednesday, 25th June 2025, afternoon sitting, and Thursday, 26th June 2025, afternoon sitting to midnight, for purposes of consideration of priority business ahead of the short recess. And 2, hold a morning sitting on Thursday, 26th June 2025, commencing at 9:30 a.m. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, procedural motion, reduction of the publication period of a specified bill.
Honorable Atandi, Chair, Budget and Appropriations Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to move that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the supplementary appropriations number 2, National Assembly Bill number 26 of 2025, from 7 days to 1 day. Honorable Speaker, we have roughly 4 days to the end of this financial year. And because the House is going to short recess in the course of this week, and also that therefore, Honorable Speaker, I would like to beg the House that we shorten the publication period for 1 day so that we are able to process this bill before the close of this session. Honorable Speaker, I move. Thank you. I would like to ask the Majority Leader second.
Who? Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second, and as the Chair has said, in view of the fact that we have only less than 4 days to the end of the financial year, and we need to conclude the supplementary appropriations bill for this financial year and have it ascended to before the end of the year, it's important that we reduce that publication period to 1 day. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second.
Order. Members on their feet, take your seats. CNN, take your seats. Honourable members, I now propose the question at order number 9, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the supplementary appropriation number 2 bill, National Assembly Bill number 26 of 2025, from 7 days to 1 day. Put the question. Honourable members, I'll now put the question and order number 9, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the supplementary appropriation number 2 bill, National Assembly Bill number 26 of 2025, from 7 days to 1 day. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 10, the supplementary appropriation number 2 bill, National Assembly Bill number 26 of 2025, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to authorize the issue of certain sums of money out of the consolidated fund and the application toward the service of the year ending on the 30th June 2025, and to appropriate those sums for certain public services and purposes. Order number 11, motion, consideration of the fourth generation revenue sharing formula for counties.
Honorable Atandi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to move that, taking into consideration of the findings of the Budget and Appropriations Committee in its report of the consideration of the fourth basis for revenue sharing for county governments.
Honorable members, hold on, Honorable Atandi. Honorable members, like I advised the House, order, Honorable Julius, take your seat. Like I advised the House, whoever has any contrary view to the content of this motion and you want to overturn it, you must garner 233 members. So when it comes to voting, that is the constitutional threshold. Go on, Atandi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to move that, taking into consideration of the findings of the Budget and Appropriations Committee in its report on the consideration of the fourth basis for revenue sharing for county governments laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 19th June 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 217, 1 and 4 of the Constitution on allocation of the share of national revenue among counties, this House concurs with the Senate and approves the fourth basis for annual allocation of their share of national revenue to the county level of government for the financial years 2025, 2026, 2029 to 2030 without amendments as follows. Number one, for county equitable share below 415 billion, county allocation is equal to baseline allocation ratio of 387 billion 425 plus Kenya shillings 3 billion shared equally among identified 12 counties, plus 0.45 of population index, plus 0.35 of equal share index, plus 0.12 of poverty index, plus 0.08 of geographical size index, and equitable share index of 390.425 billion. Number two, for county equitable share of 415 billion and below, county allocation is equivalent to baseline allocation ratio of 387.425 billion plus 4.46 billion shared equally among the identified 12 counties, plus 0.5 of population index, plus 0.35 of equal share index, plus 0.12 poverty index, plus 0.08 geographical size index, plus equitable share of 391.89 billion. Where number one, baseline allocation ratio is equal to allocation factor derived from each county's allocation for the financial year 2024-2025. Number two, the 12 identified counties are Elgeyo Marakwet, Embu, Isiolo, Kirinyaga, Laikipia, Lamu, Nyamira, Nyandarua, Samburu, Taita, Taveta, Tharaka Nithi, and Vihiga. Number three, population index is based on the 2019 Kenya population and housing census. Number four, the poverty index is based on the 2022 Kenya poverty report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. And number five, geographical size is capped at 10%. Honorable Speaker, I would like to say that what we are discussing before the House is the fourth basis of revenue sharing. Since the promulgation of the new constitution, we've had three revenue basis sharing formulas. So this is going to be the fourth one, and every 5 years, a new formula is developed where the national share of revenue allocated to counties is shared among counties. Honorable Speaker, there are many parameters that have been used in the past when considering the allocations to counties, sharing of these resources among counties. One of the prominent formulas that has been used in the past is the population formula parameter. Honorable Speaker, population has been used to decide how much money goes to each county. There are some counties that are highly populated, others that are not highly populated. the ones that are highly populated have been able to receive more allocation than the ones that have lower population. Honorable Speaker, this consideration has been a very good parameter. It is a parameter that is used in most jurisdictions, India and many other countries that are undertaking devolution, so that if the population is high, you are likely to get more resources. The reason being that if the population is very high, it means that you need more resources to be able to manage, provide services to the population. Honorable Speaker, the only challenge we have with this parameter is that, like in Kenya, for example, population census is not done very regularly. It is done after a very long time. So estimating the reality of population in a particular area is becoming a very big challenge. And we want to urge that in future we have a regular population census being conducted so that we are sure that the population we are considering resources for in counties is matched. Honorable Speaker, the other parameter which has been considered here is the land area. Honorable Speaker, land area is a very important parameter because for areas that are counties that are very large, have large land size, accessing services becomes a problem for populations. So they need to be given more resources so that they're able to provide provide services to populations wherever they are found. So this has been also a very important formula which has been considered when deciding the resources to counties. The other formula, the parameter which has been used, Honorable Speaker, is poverty index. Honorable Speaker, this parameter has been challenged because it is a basis for sharing resources. There are some counties that have refused to develop or even improve their poverty levels because they are sure that because that parameter is going to be used to give them more resources, they have been able to just remain poor. So we want to say, Honorable Speaker, that even though this parameter has been used here again, we want to urge that going forward, it needs to be a lesser parameter so that we can be able to urge counties to be able to improve their poverty levels. Because if poverty level is a parameter, most counties have refused to even work hard. Honorable Speaker, there are some counties that have remained poor over the years since devolution, despite pumping so many resources into those counties, because the consideration that they know that as long as we are poor, we are going to get more resources. Honorable Speaker, the other parameter is, which has also been considered, is health status of counties. And Honorable Speaker, again, resources going to counties are supposed to help in improving lives, improving services and facilities. There are some counties that have refused to graduate, in the provision of health services, even though health is devolved. They do not employ doctors, they do not build health facilities. Therefore, because they want to use this parameter to be able to continue to earn more resources in the lateral sharing of resources among counties. So, Honorable Speaker, if you look at this formula, the Budget and Appropriations Committee agrees with the formula which has been used and in the way the resources have been allocated to counties. Especially, Honorable Speaker, that there are 12 counties that are being considered for special allocation. The counties that I've just mentioned, Honorable Speaker, these counties, we realized that with the resources that they have been given in the past, they have not been able to even undertake development projects because of the size of the counties and the resources they are receiving. Under this new formula, those particular counties have been identified. There are 12, and they are going to receive a special allocation. For the case of this formula, because we have a share of allocation of 15 billion, it means that these counties are going to get more resources for development, about 4.46 billion, which is going to go to these particular 12 counties to assist them now initiate development programs in their counties. Honorable Speaker, this formula is very simple, and I want to thank the Senate for coming up with this formula. It was a very consultative process that was able to give us this formula, and I think this formula is going to ensure that even counties that have not been able to engage properly in development programs, they will now have the opportunity to do so because of the special allocations that they have been given under this formula. Honorable Speaker, with those many remarks, I would like to move and ask my able Vice Chairman to second.
Honorable Robert Bukose, Doctor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to second. Honorable Speaker, first I want to thank the chair who led our team from the National Assembly and in discussing, and also Honorable Senator Ali Roba, who led the Senate team. Honorable Speaker, this shareable revenue formula that was forwarded to the National Assembly will go a long way in ensuring that the discussions which we had as in the mediation are able to be implemented, and each of the counties is going to benefit, because when you look at this shareable revenue formula, it is based on 415 amount, which means every county is going to benefit in terms of development. One of our colleagues, member for the Budget and Appropriation, the Honorable Mwashako, said, you know, his county of Taita, he made a joke saying that all the tall women in Taita are opting to look for outside Taita, and they are only left with the short women. So it's because the amount that they were getting, Haika can confirm, and you know she's married to Rift Valley, and she's tall. So, Honorable Speaker, this formula now ensures that Taita Taveta gets an extra 300 million. Getting an extra 300 million means they are able to do development, similar to Elgeyo Marakwet and other counties, that 12 counties that were being marginalized. And this, I hope that the counties will be able to utilize those resources. You know, Honorable Speaker, me and you comes from the western part of this country. And you know what has been happening in my county of Trans Nzoia, where resources are disappearing with no meaningful development in the county, where money is being stolen left and right. So, Honorable Speaker, it's embarrassing. You know, when devolution came in, each of the counties was expected to have meaningful development. With this shareable revenue formula, Trans Nzoia is going to get an extra 100 million, but I'm hoping that that money will not be stolen. Because if we are adding, we want to see meaningful development in Endebess. What project has the county government of Trans Nzoia done in Endebess? What project has it done in Kiminini? What meaningful project has it done in Saboti? What meaningful project has it done in Kwangsa and Cherangani? That is what we want to charge our county governments with. Because the National Assembly agreeing with this formula from the Senate, and by extension from the CRA, means that they've been able to look at how possible development can be able to reach the ground. And Honorable Speaker, it will be a shame that this House appropriates that, agrees with this formula from the Senate, making sure that our people get meaningful development and money ends up in people's pockets. I think that is the most disgraceful thing that can happen. So, Honorable Speaker, this is a good formula, and we hope that it will bring meaningful developments in the counties, that each and every county will have money to do development, just not money for recurrent, but money for development. You know, some of the county governments are, instead of using the money to do development, they are employing coons so that they can move around from one constituency to the other to intimidate even members of parliament. I think that is not where we want to go as a country. And we want to ask the Inspector General of Police and the CS, Murkomen, to make sure that they rein on these coons. We should not be a country of coons, because that will mean we will deteriorate and go the Haiti way, where everybody will have his own militia. That is not what we want. So, Honorable Speaker, with this formula, I think we are happy as a Committee of Budget and Appropriation, and I hope that the National Assembly will be able to pass it. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I second.
Order, members on their feet, take your seats. Members on their feet, take your seats. Members at the back, take the nearest seats. Thank you. Honorable members, I'll now propose the question at order number 11, which is the taking into consideration the findings of the Budget and Appropriations Committee in its report on the consideration of the fourth basis for revenue sharing for county governments laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 19th June 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 217, 1 and 4 of the Constitution on allocation of the share of national revenue among the counties, this House concurs with the Senate and approves order. This House concurs with the Senate and approves the fourth basis for the annual allocation of the share of national revenue to the county level of government for the financial years 2025-2026 to 2029-2030 without amendments as follows. For county equitable share below Kenya shillings 415 billion. County allocation, baseline allocation ratio, Kenya shillings 387.425 billion, plus Kenya shillings 3 billion shared equally among the identified 12 counties, plus 0.45% on population index, plus 0.35% on equal share index, plus 0.12% on poverty index, plus 0.08% on geographical size index. County equitable share, Kenya shillings 390.425 billion. 2, for county equitable share of Kenya shillings 415 billion and above, count allocation equals baseline allocation ratio, Kenya shillings 387.425 billion plus Kenya shillings 4.46 billion shared equally among the identified 12 counties, plus 0.45% population index, plus 0.35% equal share index, plus 0.12% poverty index, plus 0.08 geographical size index, plus county equitable share, Kenya shillings 391.89 billion, where 1, order, Honorable Kajwang. Order. Where baseline, actually the offender is the member for Kibra. Order. Where baseline allocation ratio equals the allocation factor derived from each county's allocation for the financial year 2024-25. 2, the 12 identified counties are Elgeyo Marakwet, Embu, Isiolo, Kirinyaga, Laikipia, Lamu, Nyamira, Nyandarua, Samburu, Taita Taveta, Tharaka Nithi, and Vihiga. 3, the population index is based on the 2019 Kenya Population and Housing Census. 4, the poverty index is based on the 2022 Kenya Poverty Report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. And 5, geographical size is capped at 10%. Oundo, I see you are the first on the screen.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. By your very guidance, probably the debate here can be rendered redundant. I don't see how we'll raise 233 to challenge. But just as through Honorable Speaker, I just would wish the Chairman of Budget and Appropriation Committee, having deliberated and dealt with this matter, to probably explain to us Kenyans on what criteria were the 12 counties selected. That is Elgeyo Marakwet, Embu, Isiolo, Kirinyaga, Laikipia, Lamu, Nyamira, Nyandarua, Samburu, Taita Taveta, Tharaka Nithi, and Vihiga. Would want to understand, is it a matter of population? Is it a matter of poverty index? What are those socioeconomic parameters that were used to select those 12 counties, considering that Kenya has been independent since 1963? We have had devolution since 2010, or it came into effect 2013. All of us will be interested to know on what basis. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, we can never discount the question of poverty index. It's so critical. Indeed, as many of my colleagues have always complained about sessional paper number 10 of 1965, that deliberately marginalized some place and parts of this country. And indeed, that element is a historical matter that will take many, many years to be resolved. Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, I would have expected, and this discussion was done, I think in the third one, where physical discipline was awarded some marks, so that how much does the county itself collect in terms of on-source revenue? How much does it adhere to the provisions of the Public Finance and Management Act to ensure there is prudent use of public resources and there is value for money? Dropping that criteria is giving the counties a blank check to continuously misappropriate and misuse public resources and generally make them lazy not to pursue their own source revenue. Because many Kenyans keep on asking, why would Nairobi County literally require any resources from the national government? It is the biggest county. All the resources are here. Why would it even require resources as part of the equitable share? So, Chair, Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I second, I support. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Osoro, are you gesturing like you want to speak?
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also rise to support this particular bill and this very particular question of sharing of equitable revenue, because, Honorable Speaker, it's about time that we get to a practical solution, Honorable Speaker, on these shareables. Even as we look at the national cake and how we are able to share across the country, Honorable Speaker, we also need to ask the county governments on what exactly are they able to reach their targets in terms of their own source revenues. And just like my colleague Honorable Uda has said, there are counties, Honorable Speaker, that really do not require such. Looking at Nairobi, for example, as a county, Honorable Speaker, the amount of money they collect as own source revenue is actually enough to even fund even up to 5 counties by themselves. They do not need any cake from the national government and from the exchequer. Those are the debates that we need to be having. Although, Honorable Speaker, looking at the formula that has been shared by the Honorable Atandi, there has been a progressive growth, very progressive growth on exactly what goes to the devolved units. And as I said earlier, Honorable Speaker, we started from about 320 or thereabout, or 340. Then it grew gradually to about 385. It stuck at us about 388. But now we are getting to about 415 billion shillings going to the devolved units. And this is a clear indication, Honorable Speaker, that progressively money is getting to the people. Money is moving from the central system and going to the villages, going to the county governments. But the question we need to ask ourselves, Honorable Speaker, is that, is this money really getting to the people like it ought to? Does it get to the right person in the villages? Does this money, Honorable Speaker, get to be used for the particular purpose that is meant for in the Constitution, Honorable Speaker? Those are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. And going forward, this House needs to think on how to come up with a legislation that perhaps we replicate what happens with NGCDF to the county governments. That even as we send money to the county governments, we need to come up with a formula, perhaps on how this money should be spent. It should go down to the people, Honorable Speaker, with a vote, a particular vote. Say, for example, we should say that 40% not more than 60% of the amount should be used for recurrent expenditure or even salaries. Because, Honorable Speaker, even as we talk about 415 billion going to the devolved units, about 65% of that amount, Honorable Speaker, is used for salaries, is used for the recurrent expenditure. And sometimes when you look at their budgets, when they pass their budgets, you will see a huge amount of money, Honorable Speaker, meant for, they say, governor's office, which you really can't tell what it does. So it's about time that this House thinks through such structures. If we are able to replicate the formula that is used on the NGCDF to the county governments, then it will have a meaningful impact on the people. Because as it is currently constituted, Honorable Speaker, we send a blanket check to them, we give them the entire amount, 415 billion. They have their own source revenue. They use this money, Honorable Speaker, the way they want. About 70% of it, Honorable Speaker, does not get to impact people. And that is the question we need to have. Even as we talk about the formula, we should find a way to have this amount going down to the villages in a particular way with a specific vote. So that, Honorable Speaker, we don't have a situation where some local leaders or the MCAs or these people from, I mean, the people in the county government, Honorable Speaker, they do not turn governors as demigods, that they have got to worship them, to kneel before them so that they can get development. And that is why we are fast-tracking the question of the World Development Fund, so that even the county assemblies are made to be autonomous. They do not need to rely on the office of the governor to have the funds. So, Honorable Speaker, even as I support this, I challenge this House to think through a legislation that will take this money to the counties with a particular vote, that 20% is for salaries, 30% is for this particular purpose, so that it's replicated like the NGCDF. You don't just let it be as it is, that a governor decides on, there is no cap on what you can't spend beyond whatever amount so that it gets to reach the people, Honorable Speaker. That is the discussion that we should be having. And also challenge the governors and the county governments that we are still struggling, even as we continue growing gradually. Now today we are at 415. We are still struggling, and not just us, even Kenyans who are watching us are also struggling to identify what these billions do in the counties. When you also, what this amount, huge amount of money, is whether this huge amount of money is felt in the counties. We are still struggling to understand. But again, as I sit down, Honorable Speaker, we challenge the counties like Nairobi. These are questions that we also need to discuss. Capitals, cities, or big cities like Nairobi, Honorable Speaker, Mombasa, and several other counties, do they really need this amount from the exchequer? Do they need to share because the own source revenue from these counties is actually enough to even fund even 5 other counties. We need to ask ourselves that challenge, Honorable Speaker. I was looking at the budget, the Nairobi County government budget, Honorable Speaker. I realized it's actually triple what Rwanda passes as a national budget. It's more than the budget of a whole country like Rwanda. The budget of Nairobi County as a city, Honorable Speaker. Looking at their own source revenue, Honorable Speaker, you will also realize it's too much. And it's quite enough, Honorable Speaker, that can be able to fund so many other county governments. So, as I support, Honorable Speaker, those are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Whether these big cities really require this national cake, number one. Number two, how we'll be able to replicate the law on NGCDF, on the act on the NGCDF, to the county government, so that as we send money, it goes with a particular vote and nobody will be able to spend this and this. And also the question of pending bills, we also tell them that this particular vote is meant for pending bills, so that you don't need to form committees. Because what they do, Honorable Speaker, immediately a new county government or a governor takes over, he forms a committee, that is also paid by the government, by their very own county fund, to see and review whether the predecessor had genuine pending bills. Honorable Speaker, there should be a system that checks that. It shouldn't be like you're forming a committee, you are paying them. After this committee, it's again rechecked by another committee. Those are the challenges, Honorable Speaker, that we have as far as devolution is concerned. But with those very many remarks, I still support. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Osoro. Allow me, members, to acknowledge the following schools before we continue with the debate. In the public gallery, We have Katimoril Secondary School from Kapengoria in West Pokot. We have Kianjiuni Comprehensive School from Maragua in Murang'a County, and Thome Primary and Junior School from Gilgil, Nakuru. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. And I've been requested by the member for Gilgil to give her 1 minute to acknowledge and welcome the school from her constituency, and indeed all the others.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for indulging me, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome the students and the pupils in the gallery. And Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank you and also the clerk's office, because this session and this parliament specifically has been a very good training ground for our students and our children. And it is important because some of the schools you see here, especially that school called Thome, is all the way near Eburu Forest in Gilgil. So for them to have the opportunity to come and observe the proceedings of this house is quite a privilege, and we hope that we can continue with the same. And I welcome all the students, Mr. Speaker, to know that it can be them who are sitting here. Tomorrow it will be their chance, but for today they observe and learn. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chako. Member for Undanyi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to put my comments on the fourth basis for sharing revenue to counties, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this fourth basis formula is an encouraging step in our country, where we are seeing that the Senate, starting at CRA, they've been able to capture some imagination of the country. Honorable Speaker, we know that resource distribution anywhere in the world is a very seriously contested issue. It is never easy to share resources, distribute resources to different corners of the country. And when we bequeathed ourselves a new constitution in 2010, Honorable Speaker, devolution was the main theme, the main item that made Kenyans support devolution, as it were. Honorable Speaker, this formula gives hope to small counties, including my county of Taita Taveta. Honorable Speaker, we are pleased and we are happy to support this formula because CRA and Senate have agreed to put aside money that will be shared among the small, so-called small counties, the 6 counties, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, these small counties have perennially had really issues because they are not able to raise enough resources to fund the development of specific needs of those counties, Honorable Speaker. Vihiga being one of them, West Pokot being one of them, Trakanithi, Lamu, Taita Taveta, to name but a few. Honorable Speaker, when we consider only population and geographical size and poverty, it does not capture the minimum resource requirement, minimum resource wallet that is required to run a county, Honorable Speaker. And therefore today when I see in this formula, there is an attempt to set aside 3 billion to be divided among the 12 counties. It gives me a lot of encouragement, Honorable Speaker. And to make even matters better, Honorable Speaker, when this House, I sit in the Budget Committee, Honorable Speaker, and we did agree that we should give counties more money, Honorable Speaker. And today we passed in this House that Division of Revenue Bill, and now that we give counties 415 billion shillings. And in this, Honorable Speaker, it means the small county, the 12 counties that are so-called small counties, Honorable Speaker, will be able to get a total of 4.46 billion to share amongst themselves, Honorable Speaker. And if you divide that by 12 counties, Honorable Speaker, you realize that each county will receive in excess of 370 billion Kenya shillings. I want to urge the governors from these small counties that indeed this money, the biggest challenge that we've had in counties like Taita Taveta, Honorable Speaker, is in the area of health care. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge my governor, I want to urge the members of the county assembly, I want to urge the executive, that when this money comes, because this money is coming as an affirmative fund to fund the development needs of our county, That 370 billion, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge my governor to make use of that money and fund the entire of it, fund the health budget, Honorable Speaker. Because our people are suffering. We do not have enough equipment in our hospitals. We don't have enough hospitals themselves. Like in Voi, Honorable Speaker, Taita Taveta, we have a level 4 hospital that would expect it to be improved to a real standard level 4 hospital, or even if possible, Honorable Speaker, to build a proper level 5 hospital in Taita Taveta, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I want to say the entire 370 billion, should all of it be channeled to health, to promote health, to build new facilities, to put equipment in those health facilities, and where possible to support the health workers to find so that they have everything that they need, their monies, that whatever monies they need to get that money, that 370 affirmative fund should go into that sector, Honorable Speaker. I want to say, Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, that devolution should be protected. And I want to stand as an advocate of protecting devolution, but I want to also warn a few individuals, particularly, let me warn CRA. When the first formula for marginalization policy was made, it identified 14 counties to have been marginalized since independence. Today, Honorable Speaker, we expanded out of the 14 counties. Today we're talking about 33 counties being marginalized. We're talking about 107 constituencies being marginalized. And therefore the marginalization money that was to go to 14 counties, it's been divided into very small amounts, and therefore does not do any meaningful activity, Honorable Speaker. I want to warn and say, the 12 counties that have been identified in this fourth basis of sharing revenue to counties, there should not be any dilution. There should never be an attempt to expand from 12 to any number, because we know that these 12 counties require these resources, they require this money, so that then they can grow in the same manner that, as the other big counties are growing, Honorable Speaker. I want to conclude, Honorable Speaker, by saying I support this bill, I support this formula, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, we should always support the small counties to get more funding, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
It is very easy to know the members eyeing the seat of the governor in future. And we can easily listen to them. The Honorable Gideon Ochanda, the MP for Bondo.
Mr. Speaker, eyeing the seat for governorship, I think I don't want to get in those troubles too early. Mr. Speaker, as I look forward to contributing properly to this motion, I want to remind ourselves and the entire House of a number of things. Definitely there has to be a formula in terms of how we place resources horizontally. But besides that, in as much as the chair has brought us what the Senate has looked at, I want to believe and I want to say that there are many other things that are not yet looked at properly, which are factors that really need to be looked at. Number one are the constitutional considerations that we have. There are provisions in the Constitution in Article 203, and if you allow me to read one or two of them, Chair, is that consideration needs to be looked at in, for example, if you look at the factors that are given in the Constitution in Article 203, of specific concern is, for example, the need to ensure that county governments are able to perform the functions that are allocated to them. I think this is a factor that when we are looking at placement of revenue to counties, who is it that has ascertained? Who is it that has really computed in terms of what is it that the counties are supposed to be doing, their functions, the kind of functions that are already transferred, the value of those functions before we place resources in them. The other important factor that the Constitution provides that has not been looked at is the issue of the fiscal capacity and efficiency of the county governments. Again, the Revenue Allocation Commission needs to be looking at these things before we place money to these counties. The issue of capacity, fiscal capacity, the issue of efficiency. We have counties which are basically, which needs to be closed down. When you look at the issues of efficiency and the capacity, fiscal capacity. These are critical factors, and they are constitutional provisions that we really need to really look at every single time that we are placing resources. The other thing, Chair, is the whole issue of every single time. Like 2 months ago, we placed more money to counties in the name of additional resources, additional funding to counties. We passed here a motion, and we gave them more money. So at what stage do we consider or do we look at these additional monies that we place for counties when we are doing the horizontal placement of resources? That's a critical thing that needs to be looked at. The whole issue of additional, and look at it in terms of even the function that the national government is still doing for counties. Where are those monies? Where do we look at them? For example, the issue of markets. The markets alone this year or last year, we put together, we have placed a lot of money to markets, which are basically functions of the county governments that are being done by the national government. The other thing, Mr. Speaker, that we need to look at is the issue of grants. Each year, there are grants that are going to counties. But at the point of looking at which counties are getting what monies or what resources, nobody looks at the counties that have been getting grants. For example, Embu is listed as one of those that needs to be looked at in a very positive way. But you look at the grants, you realize that Embu has had grants more than Busia in the past number of years. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this is something that must be looked at in terms of where do we normally take our grants to. When we are talking about additional revenues, where do we take those additional revenues to? And all those are factors that must be looked at every single time that we are trying to look at the issue of placement of resources. The last one, Mr. Speaker, is we are placing resources to where Equalization Fund has also placed resources. The Constitution has provided in terms of Equalization Fund where some of these monies are supposed to go to. So how come that we are again placing money to counties based on factors that equalization money, equalization fund is being used for? Meaning that some of these places are getting more money or getting double monies because equalization fund gives the money, and on this other side, the issue of placement, horizontal placement of money also gives them money. So, Mr. Speaker, those are critical factors that we need to be looking at moving forward. Somebody's going to challenge us in court one time. How come we are not using the constitutional factors that are supposed to be looked at very keenly? How come we add more money after this kind of resources have already been placed? How come we have grants that are going to counties and we don't look at them? And how come, again, we place factors that are used by another fund for purposes of horizontal placement of funds, Mr. Speaker? Thank you.
The Honorable Tom Joseph Francis Kajuang, MP for Waraka.
Mr. Speaker, sir, even though I do not intend to marshal 2/3 of the House to surmount rejection of this bill, I must, however, speak to the negative. I find the formula that has been used by the Commission to be fairly simplistic. I think 15 years of constitutional dispensation, we needed to appraise and understand what statistical method would best suit discussions about revenues shares. When you limit it to population and geographical and poverty index alone, a lot of other parameters, statistical parameters, may not be, may be left aside, which dovetail to production or development in a county. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise, after listening to the speakers before me, decry that why, for example, a capital city such as Nairobi be given such a huge amount in terms of revenue share. I want to come to defense of Nairobi, both because I come from Nairobi City, but because I also live and do business in Nairobi.
Now, Nairobi is the apex. In terms of GDP, you develop places where factors of production are easily harnessed and easily developed to sustain a quick and robust changes into the GDP. Infrastructure, that is where you put your finest infrastructure, because the population is fairly industrial. The population is fairly active and productive. That is where thinking as a nation, not thinking as a sub-clan or as an entity, you must think of how to quickly develop your urban areas to bring for you the development you want. Mr. Speaker, I would expect that certain. Mr. Speaker, I thought I could get your attention on this. Mr. Speaker, I would expect such development parameters like development index, where other factors are considered like life expectancy, for example, like reproductive health, for example, like the fact that what are the factors of production that are in that county, what are the minerals are there. I wouldn't have a problem if Taita Taveta, for example, had some money because they need to produce those minerals they have there. I wouldn't mind if Turkana were given some more allocation because they needed to bring the oil that is suspected to be there. But if you simply disperse money because they are counties, because they have been defined in the Constitution, you may want to appease everybody, but you do not get into real development of a nation that result into an enhanced GDP. We must be thinking of a nation, although there is devolution, which then brings which then allows us to harness our rural folk, but we must be thinking as a nation. So even if, for example, Migori were to be the leaders in terms of springing us for GDP, take money in Migori and get Migori to give the whole country a shot towards Singapore. So in my view is that I think we need to have some intellectual discourse on these formulas. And I think we need to be patriotic as a nation more than we think we are small particles called the counties. And the last thing I think we need to do is we should put money where money will result into more money and real happiness. Sometimes real happiness is not about money. Sometimes real happiness is about social protection. Sometimes real money is about social justice. Just the other day, and we've seen it, young people are protesting around, running all over. It should worry you, it should concern you that social protection, social justice in Nairobi, for example, is a low indicator. So there are some of these things which we need to put together, although I admit that it is a fairly complex science, but I think that we need to put our minds into it so that we come to a more reasonable and an agreed formula. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, because I know Daktari knows that I do not have 2/3 to override this motion, I nonetheless leave it in the Hansard that somebody will consider that I, TJ Kajwang, had very, very robust criticism about the formula which is being used. Thank you so much.
The Honorable Dr. James Nyikal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to actually support the report and this formula. I think it is actually an improvement of the formula that was used to before, and I know how much work has been put into it. However, I think it has limitation, Mr. Speaker, because it's basically based on three things: population size, land size, and poverty index. Now, looking at poverty index is actually looking at the reverse. It would have been better to look at human development index, because that is what is telling you what people actually need. Poverty index is to a large extent telling you how much people are suffering without telling you very much what they need to do. And therefore, if we used human development index, which then will tell you how people are doing in terms of health, how people are doing in terms of education, how people are doing in terms of standard of living. For example, in health, you will use such figures as life expectancy as birth. And if you go into that, then you find out why is it that people are living shorter. In this country, if you go to, you find that in Nyanza, probably the life expectancy is much shorter than it is in the central parts of the country. And you ask why. Then you think of years of school. By the age of 25, how long have people been in school and what have they actually achieved? And then you look at per capita income. I think those will give you a much more robust indicator or index. And then you can actually use really practical things, like you will use distance to health centers. How far do people walk in a given county to the nearest health center? The amount of tarmac roads in kilometers per individual. Those are actually much more direct way of looking at, and they give you, if you look at tarmac roads, then you can actually say how much more do we need of tarmac roads. If you look at the distance to health facilities, you then actually can come out and say these are the number of health facilities we need in this area, so these people will need this. So I think, as much as they're using poverty index, I would say they should work next time with the human development index, and then look at the components of the human development index that will give you direct input that you need to actually use to estimate the amount of income, the amount of money that should be given the county. But, Mr. Speaker, much more important is how the money is used. Every time we stand here, Mr. Speaker, we talk of corruption in the counties, corruption in the counties. True, I've looked at that. To me, what has changed a lot since devolution is actually the number of very expensive houses that you see in the countryside. And when you ask most of them, you find these people are actually working in counties. And I say, well, at least something has happened. So we talk of that corruption, but there's one thing we don't look at. What about the systems? The systems do help us to actually reduce corruption. We cannot eliminate them, but we reduce corruption. Financial systems. It is just last week we were actually talking of the financial systems that we use in the county. We have the bigger Public Finance Act, but how well are people trained on this? If you look at procurement systems, how well are people trained at the county level in this? If you look at human resource. Now, I'll give an example of health sector which I'm familiar with. I think of devolved functions, the function that has the largest number of human resource at the county level is health. And it is so complex, and that's why we have these issues. Now, if you look at training, we have a school of government, and there's only one in the country. One would have expected that at this time, we should actually have several schools of government in various parts because of devolution, so that these officers actually, officers at the county level get the appropriate training. We compare county governments with the national government. The national government has been in existence for over 100 years. So the experience that has been gathered and the number of people who have that experience in national government is huge. County governments have just been here for about 10 years. However much we expect them to gather experience, we need a lot more intensive training for these counties. Another thing that is coming very clear, like in this, they are figuring out the 12 counties because they are small. The size of counties also matter, Mr. Speaker, because personally I believe that the counties we have are too small. And the evidence is that the counties themselves are now coming with regional blocks. They have realized that if we need to be more prospective, be more productive, we need to be larger. They are telling us, so we ask in Naivasha, how did we get to this number 47? Well, I know it may be now very difficult to go back and say, can we go back to the 8 that were originally proposed? So these are issues that actually we must keep looking at. The other issue is that the raising of own revenue. I think we should put an index in this distribution formula that indicates how much own revenue has a county raised. And then we actually reward those who are doing well on raising their own funds. Probably should get more so that there's an incentive. Otherwise, what happens, we don't work on the raising our own revenue. We want to depend to a large extent what comes from this formula. So, Mr. Speaker, I've said before and I say now, we had a committee for the implementation of the Constitution, which was to a large extent legal, which then actually died, its term was over. Then we came with the Transition Authority, then we now intergovernmental. This House actually has a committee on implementation of the Constitution. And I think we should regularly be looking at what we need to do. How are the structures? How are the performances? If every time we are having MCAs working very hard to impeach governors, what are the factors behind it? So if the governors are not, if the counties are not performing, what are the factors that are there? And then we can then review the whole issue of county governance with these facts that we have in mind. So I think this is a fairly scientific and very difficult formula they are working on, but it can give a basis for regular review of how devolution is working. With that, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Thank you. The Honorable Dr. Makali Mulu, MP for Kitui Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in commenting on this fourth generation formula. And as I do that, I want from the word go to say that if I was able to move the numbers, I would have opposed this formula. But now that we'll not be able to move the numbers, let's go on record on a number of issues. Honorable Speaker, sharing of public resources has never been an easy assignment. In some countries, it actually triggers war. In some countries, it causes serious conflicts because resources generally is what determines how areas or regions are going to develop. Honorable Speaker, I looked at the factors being considered in this fourth generation formula, and I've had the privilege of looking at all the previous three, and now this is the fourth generation. And if you analyze from the first one to the fourth one, they have always been dropping some things and bringing on board new ones. They have been changing the factor, what we call like now the percentages in terms of contribution. And that has had some impact in terms of what goes, how much each county gets. One thing I must appreciate the current formula for, Honorable Speaker, is to ensure that as we move to the future, no county will get less than what they have been getting in the past. That is important. But Honorable Speaker, just taking you back to the history of this country, there was a system of paper number 10 of 1965, which was the paper on African socialism and its application to planning in Kenya. what did that paper do? That paper was emphasizing on developing high potential areas in this country. And it means in terms of resource allocation, public resources were pushed to those areas which were seen to be high potential. So from the word go, there was skewness in resource allocation. And as a result of that, Honorable Speaker, you find some regions are marginalized. And that's why we came up with the Equitable Equalization Fund. So what are we saying, Honorable Speaker? We are saying, by design, some parts of this country have remained poor for some time. And that's why poverty rates are very high. So in such a situation, the reason we have been pushing for poverty rates to be high in these terms of percentage is so that we help these areas to come up. But as you can see, Honorable Speaker, if you look at the percentages being allocated to poverty levels, it has kept on reducing every year. And what has happened, Honorable Speaker, is now that we are going back to pushing population to be the leading factor. But Honorable Speaker, through this paper number 10 of 1965, because those areas were developed, what happened? People migrated from marginalized area to high potential areas. So in terms of population, automatically, population of those areas is very high. So what we are going, Honorable Speaker, through this formula, this fourth generation, we actually almost like now coming back to the system of paper number 10 of 1965 in terms of our planning. And that's what to me, I say, when you give population a figure of 45% of the resources, Honorable Speaker, you are being unfair to the rest of the country. Why am I saying that? There are areas like this area where the geographic area is so big that providing services and goods to these areas is a tall order. But now we are downgrading population, geographical area, and upgrading population. So, Honorable Speaker, what will happen with the time is this country, counties which have a big area in terms of a geographical area, will never develop at the same pace with countries which have high population. I'm having in mind, Honorable Speaker, areas like northeastern part of this country, southeastern part of this country, north lift of this country. Those areas will remain always marginalized because we are once more pushing resources to areas where the population is high. So if I had my own way, Honorable Speaker, I would have wanted to see the percentage which is pegged to population being reduced and increasing the percentage on geographical area. The other important area, Honorable Speaker, is if you look at our constitution, it says very clearly that resources should be shared in a way that each county is able to implement the functions of the county. One thing we have not done as a country is we have not costed devolved functions fully. And where we attempted to cost devolved function, that was about 10 years ago. Things have changed. Honorable Speaker, the price of the unit of electricity 2013 is not the same as the price of the unit of electricity today. So we need a situation where we need to sit and say, for counties to be effective in implementation of their functions, how much is required for counties in totality, so that we cost all the functions and say we require 700 billion. Now, on the basis of that, we allocate the 700 billion and then see how to share it. But the Honorable Speaker, as we said, if you look at just the immediate, the third generation formula, issues of health were factored in, issues of agriculture were factored in, issues of roads development were factored in. Now they have all disappeared. Honorable Speaker, you'll be surprised. An area like, take an example of Garissa. If you look at the roads of Garissa in terms of development, they have no roads. They have what we call just parts, being called roads. So at what point shall we develop roads in Garissa, in Mandera, in Kitui, in Makueni, if we don't factor in the level of infrastructural development in our sharing formula? These are the issues, Honorable Speaker. But you realize that because it looks like we are still pushing so hard for where people are, we agree that we continue being left behind. The issue of corruption, we all talk about it here. How do you address corruption when you omit or when you exclude fiscal responsibility as a factor in sharing resources? That you don't care how people use the resources before you give them more resources. I would have wished to see a situation where fiscal responsibility becomes an important factor in sharing resources, so that those who take care of public resources are given more. Those who misapply or misdirect are given less. And then we'll have more people joining the club of those people who use public resources well. But for now, it doesn't matter whether I use well or I don't use well, I'll still get resources based on this formula. So I wish we had a way of opening up this formula and improving the situation. But since you can't raise the truth that's Honorable Speaker, we can only say we live with this formula for the next 5 years, and those who are marginalized can continue being marginalized. Those who are developed, let them continue being developed. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Yusuf Mohammed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also add my voice to this revenue allocation bill. Mr. Speaker, as my colleagues have already said, if I was able today to garner the 2/3 majority to reject this bill, I could have done it. But unfortunately, now that I can't do it and it has already gone further, I am just forced to support this bill. However, Mr. Speaker, I must make my reservations for the records. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution has outlined policies and guidelines on how resources are shared between the two levels of government. However, despite well-formulated guidelines, Mr. Speaker, on revenue sharing, there has been a delay of agreeing on the amount to be allocated to the two levels of government because of certain interests. Mr. Speaker, the parameters or the factors used to determine the sharing of the revenue is quite alarming, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you make one of the factors of revenue allocation to the county government as the population index, which is based on 2019 Kenyan census, this clearly shows you how people don't care about certain parts of this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we all know 2019 census was cooked in the interior office by some crooks who pretended to be the census, those who are doing the census, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, some areas have been deliberately marginalized and their numbers have been tempered and reduced by 3/4, Mr. Speaker. The same parameters has been used to allocate resources to the same counties which were marginalized for decades, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, 2019 census is in the corridors of court. The counties, the ASAL counties have went to court to challenge the decision of the Kenya Bureau of Statistics, Kenya Population and Housing Census. And that ruling was kept, that census was set aside, Mr. Speaker. Using nullified census as a parameter to allocate resources to certain counties is not acceptable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this will take this country or return this country to secessional paper number 1 of 1963, which was deliberate attempt to marginalize specific areas to deny them their rightful resources in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the other issue is about geographical size of being a factor, but putting it as 10%, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what are we using this resources?
What is out of order, Honorable Jematia.
Mr. Speaker, I'm standing on the 95. Considering that this formula, and I want to agree with members who have spoken on the floor, that this is a good debate, but considering that we are debating on the formula, and for us to conclude and vote, we need a substantial number in the House. And looking at the floor, we don't have enough. So either way, I would request the Honorable Speaker that you may call the mover to reply. Thank you. Under Standing Order 95.
The Honorable Jematia, I will seek the decision of the House on the matter you have raised once the member speaking concludes.
Correct. Correct, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for protecting me from Honorable Jematia for cutting me off. Mr. Speaker, I was on the point of geographical size being used. It is good to use the geographical size as a factor. However, capping it to 10% is unacceptable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what are we going to use this money for? Allocating money to counties. Why are we devolving resources? That is the first question we need to ask ourselves. We are devolving resources to develop each and every village of this country, Mr. Speaker. For a village to have a tarmac road, Mr. Speaker, it needs to have resources, Mr. Speaker. If, Mr. Speaker, you are not considering the length of a road, or if you are not considering the distance of hospitals at the village level, Mr. Speaker, what are you going to use this money for, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, I thought geographical size could have been the number one factor to use to determine the sharing of resources, Mr. Speaker, so that those parts which are not developed are developed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, some parts which are already getting the junk of the money or this bill is favoring are already developed from 1963 up to date, Mr. Speaker. They have roads. They have tapped water, Mr. Speaker. They have tarmac roads, Mr. Speaker. They have hospitals, Mr. Speaker. But those areas, Mr. Speaker, that have been marginalized for quite a while, and their geographical size is much bigger, which I believe doesn't even have 1 kilometer of tarmac road, has been still been marginalized in this revenue sharing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as much as I have all those reservations, but still, the amount allocated is better than the years before, Mr. Speaker. Some people are still talking about corruption. Corruption is everywhere, and we are not condoning this country. We must stand as members of parliament for this country. It is upon us and the rest of Kenyans to stop corruption, Mr. Speaker. We will not allow hard-earned money to go into waste, Mr. Speaker. 85% of these resources, Mr. Speaker, is going to the national government. And the same marginalized areas, they are not even getting 1% of the 85% of the money that is left at the national government, Mr. Speaker. How do we make those counties that are marginalized with a bigger geographical area, with their population, census population manipulated by people who wanted to marginalize those areas, to come up at a par with the rest of the counties, Mr. Speaker? With those few remarks, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, honorable members. The Honorable Jematia stood in her place and asked for the decision of the House on whether the mover should be called to reply. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the members for debating this bill in the manner that they have done, and more particularly offering very strong criticism of the bill. Honorable Speaker, this report which I have just tabled is a report which has come from the Senate.
Is that the Honorable Mudhoni wa Muchomba? Asumbi girls is in the house. I want you to sit before they are recognized. And keep order, please. The Honorable Atandi.
Honorable Speaker, some of the issues that have been raised by members include the failure by this report to include physical discipline as a parameter for consideration of revenue sharing among counties. Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with those people who are saying that this is a very, very important parameter that should have been used. But, Honorable Speaker, the argument that was advanced by the Senate when they appeared before us to defend this report is that, Honorable Speaker, there are some governors that are not physically disciplined in the way they are managing their finances. But the Senate felt that denying the people the resources on the account of a poor manager of a governor was not going to be prudent. So, Honorable Speaker, this formula allowed this parameter to be removed from consideration, so that if one governor is not financially disciplined, that should not be used to deny a whole county resources. The other factor that has been raised, Honorable Speaker, was some members who are questioning why only 12 counties were identified and for use in the new formula. The few counties, the 12 counties, Honorable Speaker, are small counties. And that is the reason why this affirmative action has been employed on them. The reason being, Honorable Speaker, that for the two important parameters, population and geographical size, these two parameters give these counties very little resources. That in the end, these counties do not have resources to undertake development programs. That is why they were identified for affirmative action in this new formula, so that they will be able to receive some money extra to allow them to undertake development programs. Honorable Speaker, with those many remarks, I would like to reply. Thank you.
Honorable members, I want to put the question. Before I do, let me once again notify you that the numbers required for you to negative this motion are not existent. So I'll be putting the question, the way your voices go, the ayes will have it. And so I put the question. Honorable members, I put the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Budget and Appropriations Committee in its report on the consideration of the fourth basis for revenue sharing for county governments, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 19th June 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 217, Sub-Article 1 and Sub-Article 4 of the Constitution and allocation of the share of national revenue among the counties, this House concurs with the Senate and approves the fourth basis for the annual allocation of the share of national revenue to the county level of government for the financial years 2025-2026 to 2029-2030 without amendments as follows. Roman 1, for the county equitable share below Kenya shillings 415 billion, county allocation equal to, in bracket, baseline allocation ratio times Kenya shillings 387.425 billion plus, in bracket, Kenya shillings 3 billion shared equally among the identified 12 counties plus, in bracket, 0.45 times population index plus, in bracket, 0.35 times equal share index plus, in bracket, 0.12 times poverty index plus, into brackets, 0.08 times geographical size index times, into bracket, county equitable share minus Kenya shillings 390.425 billion. Roman 2, for county equitable share of Kenya shillings 415 billion and above, county allocation shall be equal to, into bracket, baseline allocation ratio times Kenya shillings 387.425 billion plus, into bracket, 4.46 billion shared equally among the identified 12 counties plus, into bracket, 0.45 by population index plus, into bracket, 0.35 by equal share index plus 0.5 by poverty index plus, into bracket, 0.08 by geographical size index times county equitable share minus Kenya shillings 391.89 billion, where Roman 1, baseline allocation ratio is equal to the allocation factor derived from each county's allocation of the financial year 2024-2025. Roman 2, the 12 identified counties are Elgeyo Marakwet, Embu, Isiolo, Kirinyaga, Laikipia, Lamu, Nyamira, Nyandarua, Samburu, Taita Taveta, Tharaka Nithi, and Vihiga. Roman 3, the population index is based on the 2019 Kenya National Population and Housing Census, KPHC. Roman 4, the poverty index is based on the 2022 Kenya Poverty Report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, KNBS. And Roman 5, geographical size is capped at 10%. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yeah, next order. But before the next order, let me recognize the following institutions that are visiting the National Assembly, the House of the Parliament of Kenya. We have in the House Good Shepherd Academy from Mwala constituency, Machakos County. And then we have Asumbi Girls from Rangwe constituency, Homa Bay County. Honorable members, Homa Bay County is my county, and Asumbi Girls is the school of my mother. My mother was a pioneer student at Asumbi Girls when it started as a primary school. I therefore, on behalf of the National Assembly, would like to welcome those two institutions to the House of Parliament in their study tour. And on behalf of all of us, I'll allow the minority whip, the minority whip, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo Mabona, good girl, not bad girl today, to welcome both institutions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I'm always a bad girl because good girls don't get the corner office. And the girls who have come before the House must know that for you to make it in life, you have to be a bad girl. But you have to be a bad girl in a good way. You have to be a bad girl by speaking out when there are wrong things going on. You must be a bad girl by saying no to bad things, so people forcing you to do wrong things. Mr. Speaker, I'm very happy to welcome the two schools from Machakos and from Homa Bay County. Mr. Speaker, my two sisters went to school in Asumbi Girls, so I'm very connected and linked to Asumbi Girls. And one of my sisters, who is now working in California, who was also a student there, has also taught in Asumbi Girls. So it's one of our best schools. The girls are doing well, and I just want to indicate, Mr. Speaker, that they are very happy to have women who are examples and they can emulate. In Homa Bay County, the governor, Honorable Gladys Wanga, is a woman. No, she didn't go to Asumbi, but she's the governor and she's a woman. Mr. Speaker, there are a member of parliament who has requested, Mr. Speaker, if she can be allowed, she's been waiting since morning for this school. If she'll be allowed, because she had to run, she's even having a problem with her voice, but she's on her way. So Honorable Lillian Gogo, Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo, is also a woman. And yours truly, Millie Odhiambo, is also a woman, bad girl. And also the women rep, Honorable Dr. Bensouda, is also a woman. And Honorable Dr. Ivo Bara is also a woman. Mr. Speaker, we have said that people, the men in our constituency, are the ones who will be having problem, because even me, I'm doing my PhD now. So only we will soon just be hearing Peter Kaluma. Martin Owino. But the rest of us will be Honorable Dr. Millie Odhiambo, Honorable Dr. Ivo Bara, Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo. There she's come, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, we are very happy to see the women, in both from Machakos and here. And we want to tell you how far you go is really up to you. It's not dependent on your circumstances. You can overcome. Welcome to the National Assembly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'll have problems because I don't have doctorate yet. I come from Homa Bay. Now that Honorable Lillian Gogo has arrived, members allow me to allow Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo to welcome the students from our best school in the country, actually. Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo. Do you have doctorate by any chance? No, you are not recognized. Dr. Lillian Gogo, proceed. It is time for only women with doctorate.
I want to thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Speaker, I must also pronounce myself to the fact that you also are a great grandson of Asumbi National School that is represented here. And the Honorable Jalango is also telling me, Honorable Speaker, that I must indicate that is also associated with Asumbi National School that is here by dint of coming from Homa Bay County. I want to celebrate all our students who have come to visit the National Assembly, and specifically, Honorable Speaker, allow me to celebrate Asumbi National School for what Asumbi is, for exemplary performance in the national exams and extracurricular activities. But I also want to say this on Asumbi National School, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Asumbi National School is one particular
The Honorable
school.
Dr. Lillian Gogo will be heard in silence.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for your protection. Thank you. Thank you. My majority leader, the Honorable Ichungwa, you don't have a PhD, so just sit down. Thank you. Thank you. Asumbi National School, Honorable Speaker, takes care of girls with good brains who are called to other national schools and probably are unable to raise their fare to the various schools across the country. When I approach the principal, the chief principal of Asumbi National School, my dear Lynette Pino Sati. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord bless Asumbi. All our brilliant girls are absorbed in that particular school. So I want to appreciate you. Welcome to the National Assembly. And I know that we have very many leaders seated there, other than being in the echelon of political leadership. I know we have leaders in business seated there. I know we have leaders in medicines and engineering and also in law seated there. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, and I appreciate the time you have given me. I thank you.
What is out of order, the Honorable Todonyang Muchamba?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I raised my hand when my sister and my very good colleague, the Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo, was submitting. And she alluded to the fact that Honorable Jalango is connected to Asumbi Girls as one of those that are associated. I needed a clarification. Is Honorable Jalango an alumni of Asumbi Girls? We need to be clarified properly, because we are worried if he's an alumni, then things might change in this afternoon.
The Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo, what is the relationship between the Honorable Jalango with Asumbi Girls, our best girls' school?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I want to thank my sister, the Honorable Dr. Todonyang Muchamba. She just wanted me also to acknowledge that she also has a PhD, because the floor this afternoon is for PhDs, and she's literally transformed into orange. Welcome to the party of the people. I want to thank you very much. This is how the Honorable Jalango is related to Asumbi National School. I used some very simple English, and I said that he's related to Asumbi National School by dint of coming from Homa Bay. I think that is the English that she did not get. But the Honorable Jalango comes from Homa Bay County, where Asumbi is located. And Asumbi National School is only 20 kilometers from Homa Bay town. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
At the risk of diluting the doctorate degrees, because we transact the next business, and just on a special request, the Honorable Lillian Rennie, for 1 minute only to welcome all the students, then we go to the next order. The Honorable Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First of all, there's nothing you're diluting. I am just but only doing my second degree. I have the advantage of age, so I'll get there to the PhD like the rest. My second degree is in law. But Honorable Speaker, I want to just do a special welcome to the students who are here, and especially Asumbi Girls, and to my niece, who is part of the team, Amara Aluodo, who I have known since she was 7 days old. So because I know she is also wants to come here one day and be a member of parliament, I just want to wish her and all the others the very best. She is now doing her Form 4, about to sit for exams. So all the best to all of them, and we appreciate you girls. And don't worry, we will get there. Doctorates, it's coming.
Yeah, honorable members, you allow the House to debate Asumbi and the schools. I know we will debate up to tomorrow, because there is a way we are connected. We are all connected to Asumbi. I want us, therefore, to transact business. Does Honorable Jalango have PhD? Yeah, then you can proceed for 1 minute only.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome all the students, and especially Asumbi girls from the county where I was born and bred. I went to Lake Primary School, where so many girls from Lake Primary School, Homa Bay, went and joined the Honorable Asumbi girls. Now, this was the school that most girls dreamt to go from the county. and they have continued to excel in the exams and show the same spirit that we had those days. And we hope that they will continue the same. And one message that I want to tell them is that it does not matter where you come from. You know how Homa Bay was then. Honorable Mili can tell you, we grew up in Homa Bay together. And a lady or a girl going to a Sumbi girl was a prestigious thing. It is still prestigious and it will always be. Welcome, my girls from Asumbi Girls. Karibuni sana to the assembly. Asante.
Well, all visiting schools and students are welcome to the house during their learning tour. Call the next order now.
Order number 12, the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025. Second reading.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, before I move the bill for a second reading is again to take this time also to welcome these great girls to National Assembly and also to inform them as the great county of Nakuru. We are also bestowed and gifted with very many elected women leaders, starting from the Honorable Martha Wangari, the MP for Gilgil, the Honorable Jane Kihara, MP for Naivasha, the Honorable Irene Murembo, the MP for Bahati, the Honorable Charity Kathambi, the MP for Njoro, our Governor Susan Kiheka, our Senator Tabitha Keroche. They call us the county of girls. So it is to show you that women have power and they can fight alongside men and win seats. So even for you, emirate from the great ladies of Homa Bay and the great ladies of Nakuru, and I'm confident that you'll become great leaders in this Republic of Kenya. And to caution our brothers and sisters from Central Kenya, when it is an issue of grammar, we need to be very careful not to pick a fight with our brothers and sisters from the lakeside, because we will lose that fight for sure. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Virtual Assets Providers Bill, National Assembly number 15 of 2025, be now read a second time. Yes, as Honorable Mushomba has witnessed at the floor of this House this afternoon. Honorable Speaker, this bill was published on the 17th of March and given to the Departmental Committee of Finance and National Planning for its consideration. Honorable Speaker, before I get to the nitty-gritties, I want to share with you a few reading quotes from business people across the world. One, Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, reminds us that virtual assets are reshaping the entire financial landscape, and there is a huge opportunities for interactions. Again, one of the most respected names in this particular space is one David Solomon, who says that cryptocurrencies have defined what it means to store and transfer value. Honorable Speaker, it's important to mention that Kenya is ranked number 3 in Africa on on-chain weighted transaction volume. In the last 1 year, Kenya traded $2 billion in decentralized protocols, liquidity aggregation, and synthetic platforms this year, Honorable Speaker. We have approximately 6.1 million users who use EV capabilities, chain tokens, bridges, wrapped BTCs, gas abstracted stablecoins, and ZK roll-up deployment, Honorable Speaker. We have a potential in this space to generate at least $1 billion in terms of foreign direct investment. With the passage of this law, Honorable Speaker, this law has a potential to create at least 25,000 jobs in Kenya in the next 1 year, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we look forward to this new technology, blockchain technology, tokenization, being used to solve one of the challenges we have in this country, Honorable Speaker, like budgetary allocation, Honorable Speaker. The control of budget estimates that we have approximately 550 billion shillings worth of pending bills. Honorable Speaker, I look forward to when this can be tokenized, and we have people across Kenya and globally, Honorable Speaker, contribute to this particular space without having to constrain the exchequer, given the limited physical space we have, Honorable Speaker, on our budget. The question then is, Honorable Speaker, what are we doing as a nation to embrace this novel innovation in finance that the world is already embracing? Well, at the very least, if this House considers and passes this bill, Kenya will now be the 4th country in Africa to do so by maintaining our progressive spirit of building Kenya to be the Silicon Savannah. Honorable Speaker, Virtual assets are digital representation of value that are created. Usually by mining, they are traded or transferred in digital sphere, often using the blockchain or other forms of distributed ledger technologies, simply known as DLTs. Their uses are many. They can be used as a medium of exchange, as a unit of account, as a store of value, or even for investment purposes with specific digital ecosystems and across broader financial systems, depending on their structure and application. So, Honorable Speaker, then with the question begs, should we regulate these assets? Honorable Speaker, Kenya has witnessed a remarkable rise in cryptocurrency adoption, with over 10 million citizens now holding one form of a digital asset or another. There is a significant engagement in peer-to-peer cryptocurrency trading, which has earned Kenya a top position in the global ranking for trading volume and leading position in overall cryptocurrency activity, according to China Analysis Global Crypto Adoption Index of 2023. Honorable Speaker, this growth demonstrates a substantial interest in participation in digital assets, especially amongst young Kenyans, those showcasing the sector's potential within the economy. Over the first few years, our traditional financial regulators, particularly the central bank, the Capital Markets Authority, have over time adopted a cautious stance towards virtual assets. For instance, in both 2015 and 2022, the central bank issued a cautionary notice to financial institutions against engaging with cryptocurrencies, stating that they are not recognized as legal tender. But, Mr. Speaker, here we are realizing that burying our heads in the sand is not tenable anymore. In this regard, the National Treasury now has prepared this bill before us, which was sponsored by the Liberal majority. Honorable Speaker, when I was elected during my first term in 2017 into this Honorable House, in 2018, it was on record, I raised a question to the then Governor of Central Bank of Kenya, asking what measures is Central Bank and National Treasury doing to prepare themselves on this issue of Bitcoins, blockchain technology, and cryptocurrency, Honorable Speaker. The response from the then Central Bank Governor said that cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, digital assets were passing clouds, was a fad that will fade away. I am happy that at Kenya now we have seen it is no longer a fad that's going to fade away. Digital assets, Bitcoins, blockchain technology, cryptos, and all that space, including Ethereum and all, and stable coins, and all that space, Honorable Speaker, on digital assets, is no longer a fad that's fading away. The reality is now here with us. The scope of this bill, Honorable Speaker, is designated to regulate all persons or entities who are engaging in offering virtual asset services within or from Kenya. This will apply to companies incorporated under Kenyan law or foreign companies duly recognized under the Companies Act and which are licensed to provide virtual assets as defined in the bill in the first schedule. However, this will deliberately exclude certain categories of digital representation to avoid overregulation or financial or non-financial purely utilized-based digital products. Exempted from this bill and act, if passed by this Honorable House, are digital representations that function solely within a closed ecosystem, such as in-game currencies that cannot be transferred, exchange for fiat money, or traded outside the issuer's platform, as well as central bank-issued digital currencies. Certain non-fungible tokens not used for payment or investment purposes, and other digital representations expressly excluded by the relevant authority, Honorable Speaker. This the bill, Honorable Speaker, carefully defines the scope and ensures that only those virtual asset activities posing financial, consumer, or systematic risks fall under the regulatory oversight. This is done while preserving innovation and limiting unnecessary regulation burden on other digital technologies. This focus, Honorable Speaker, is particularly relevant given past incidences in Kenya, where the lack of regulation in virtual asset space has exposed consumers to harm and loss. To give an example, Honorable Speaker, thousands of Kenyans were affected by the collapse of cryptocurrency platform Bitstream Cycle in 2023. Investors lost millions of shillings from this platform when it was abruptly shut down without warning. Bitstream Cycle had operated without any regulatory oversight, promising high returns through digital currency investments, yet it was neither licensed nor monitored by any Kenyan authority. Such cases highlight the dangers of unregulated financial virtual assets services and demonstrates the need for clear legal framework like the one the bill is introducing to make sure we safeguard the funds of the members of the public. Any person or entity intending to engage in virtual assets must now formally apply to the relevant authority, either through the Capital Markets Authority, the Central Bank of Kenya, and the new entity this bill is proposing to create, the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, Honorable Speaker. This bill will form strong emphasis on the prevention and management of conflict of interest among licensed virtual asset providers, which we call VASPs. Under this bill, VASPs are required to establish and maintain effective internal policies and procedures designed to identify, to mitigate, and manage potential actual conflict of interest that may arise, for example, and are required to report this to the authority and the regulator, Honorable Speaker. Virtual assets, Honorable Speaker, that simultaneously acts as a broker for their client must clearly separate those roles to avoid manipulating trade outcomes on its advantages. And where conflicts are unavoidable, Honorable Speaker, they will be required to report to the authority. This bill is going to impose enforcement action for contravening any of the provisions of these laws, Honorable Speaker, that are clearly defined in the schedules provided, Honorable Speaker, as per our report. This bill is providing a clear mechanism, Honorable Speaker, for appeal. So where you go to apply for a license to the regulator and you're not issued with a license, then this bill provides for not just timelines for when the regulator must respond to you on what documents are required, on whether or not you're going to be issued with a license or not, but also provides timelines, Honorable Speaker, for when they're supposed to issue licenses. This, Honorable Speaker, is meant to cure where this Honorable House has passed laws that would require, for example, particular entities or authorities to license entities, but those entities take years before they are issued with a license, Honorable Speaker. In addition, Honorable Speaker, the bill is also providing for the Cabinet Secretary to issue further regulations. Because from experience, Honorable Speaker, such new entity we may not be able to capture evidence needed for it in law. And therefore, we are now requiring, Honorable Speaker, within 6 months, that the Cabinet Secretary must issue regulations, Honorable Speaker, to further regulate this particular sector, Honorable Speaker. One of the most significant advantages that we're going to experience with blockchain technology is its decentralized nature. Unlike, Honorable Speaker, traditional financial systems that rely on central authorities, blockchain operates on a distributed ledger maintained by a network of nodes. This decentralization reduces the risk of single points of failure and enhances the security and resilience of financial systems. Kraken, for example, one of the global leaders, has partnered with DeFi Development Corp to tokenize shares on the Solana blockchain, which is demonstrating the potential of decentralized finance to integrate traditional assets in the blockchain ecosystems. Mr. Speaker, I am hoping that this bill will make this reality in Kenya. Blockchain transparency is another critical feature that is that sets it apart from conventional financial systems. Honorable Speaker, every transaction on a blockchain is recorded on a public ledger, which can be audited by anyone. This transparency helps to build trust among users and reduces the potential for fraud and corruption. By tokenizing government securities, platforms like Coinbase can provide real-time visibility into the ownership, the transfer of these assets, and therefore enhance trust and accountability. I hope one day we get to be a country where we can use these particular entities, Honorable Speaker, to safeguard even our public assets. Honorable Speaker, things like the faking and the issuing of duplicate title deeds, Honorable Speaker, can be easily resolved using blockchain technology, where any attempt to change title deed, Honorable Speaker, of any particular property can easily be notified. No, it can easily be detected because it will be impossible to do so using, Honorable Speaker, the blockchain technology that exists. The immutability of blockchain records ensure that once a transaction is recorded, it cannot be altered or deleted. This feature is very crucial in maintaining the integrity of financial records and prevents tampering. Soon, we will need to discuss amending our land network, Honorable Speaker, having our procurement laws and our procurement processes use blockchain technology so that we ensure that the fraud that is used, Honorable Speaker, in our procurement systems is not done. And this is possible using blockchain technology. This legislation is to democratize access to investment opportunities through access to tokenized investment tools by breaking down assets into smaller, more affordable units, tokenized broader range of investors to participate inaccessible. Honorable Speaker, for example, for you to own a parcel of land in Kenya, you need to own the whole piece of land. Using tokenization, it will therefore now be possible for Kenyans across the economic, Honorable Speaker, to own part of that property and gain, Honorable Speaker, profit from that particular interest, Honorable Speaker. For now, for you to buy a piece of land, you probably need to buy a 50 by 100 or 100 by 100 or 1 acre or 1 hectare, whatever it is, Honorable Speaker. But using tokenization, it is possible to have this land being accessible to young people in this country, Honorable Speaker, through those small units and have them get a considerable return, Honorable Speaker, on the investment. The efficiency of this blockchain is another compelling advantage that as a country we should tap to. Traditional financial transactions often involve multiple intermediaries, leading to delays and increased costs. Honorable Speaker, it will be important to remind ourselves how, for example, the blockchain technology and, for example, the Bitcoin was launched. During the financial system breakdown in the U.S., Honorable Speaker, we had banks in the need to compete to issue mortgages, issued mortgages to almost every American. And consequently, what happened, the cost of those houses, considering the force of demand and supply, the price of those houses fell lower than the mortgage amount that was mortgaged to these particular institutions. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, this led to the collapse of the entire financial system in the United States of America, Honorable Speaker. And this is what now these young people who are accountants, financial analysts, and computer scientists wondered, how can we preserve value for assets without necessarily, Honorable Speaker, having to use intermediaries? This particular technology that we're talking about, this digital assets, Honorable Speaker, is now providing that space where you will no longer need an intermediary, Honorable Speaker, to store value for your asset. And Honorable Speaker is going to reduce all the fraud that occurs in that particular space, Honorable Speaker. This technology will support development for what we call smart contracts, which are self-executing contracts with the terms of the agreement directly written into a code. Smart contracts can automate various financial processes and reduce the need for manual intervention and minimizing the risk of human error. As we style ourselves as a Silicon Valley, we need to enable this framework, Honorable Speaker, and this is our opportunity. Honorable Speaker, one of the issues that we see, matters of litigation across the country, is in terms of contracts that are not being honored. Now, using this technology, Honorable Speaker, we can have smart contracts, Honorable Speaker, that get to mature, and whatever is supposed to be executed is executed through technology, Honorable Speaker, without having to have any human intervention, and therefore this will even reduce the litigation that goes around in our court system, Honorable Speaker, for unhonored contracts. I don't want to belabor the point anymore, but let me underscore that the potential for innovation in blockchain technology is vast and will create immense opportunities for our economy, including creation of jobs. As the opportunity continues to evolve, new applications and use cases are emerging. For example, the integration of blockchain with other technologies such as artificial intelligence and Internet of Things are creating new opportunities for financial innovation, and as a nation, we should not be left behind. This regulatory framework landscape, Honorable Speaker, for blockchain and virtual assets is evolving. Now, governments and regulatory bodies are increasingly recognize the potential use of these technologies. In Africa, as I said, we'll be the 4th nation to pass this law. And I call upon this House to support the bill and the amendments that this committee is going to bring to the House. Honorable Speaker, One Wall Street CEO, Jamie Dimon, said that the blockchain is a financial challenge of our time. It is going to change the way our financial world operates. A few years ago, Honorable Speaker, few people sat and discussed the creation of M-Pesa. And the then Vodacom, Honorable Speaker, said, it is impossible. Everyone uses bank, relies on the banking system, and we cannot have money being transferred through phones. Apart from a few people who were in that room, the likes of Michael Joseph and others that improve on that technology said, no, it is possible. A few young Kenyans were tasked to create that platform. And now, much more money is traded, is exchanged on M-Pesa than any other financial system in Kenya. Blockchain technology, virtual assets, is the new M-Pesa. A lot of transactions globally are not now happening through the traditional banking systems. They're not happening through mobile exchanges. They're happening through virtual assets. And I hope and pray that this Honorable House will make Kenya to lead so that we attract FDI for institutions to come up and set up in Kenya and expand to the rest of Africa, making Kenya the Silicon Valley of virtual assets, Honorable Speaker. Let us not be scared of new technologies. Let us not be afraid of these new technologies. Let's embrace them. Let's promote them. Let's support them and make sure that you are not left behind by the rest of the world. With those many remarks, I beg to move and request my senior, the leader of Majority Party, and the great member for the great people of Kikuyu constituency to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second this virtual assets service providers bill and has been ably moved by the chair of the Finance and National Planning Committee that considered this bill. Honorable Speaker, as he has said, Kenya is indeed a beacon of innovation and growth in Africa in the sector of financial services. And indeed, as the chair has alluded, M-Pesa is such one example of financial inclusion services in the financial services sector, where Kenya has not just become a beacon of innovation, but became a focus point for the entire world. Even before the Americas, the Silicon Valley, and India and other countries moved into mobile money transfers, Kenya led the way, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we cannot afford to be left behind in the space of virtual assets, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, it is important, Honorable Speaker, that we have a legal framework that will form the basis of regulation or the regulatory work of the virtual assets themselves, the regulation of virtual assets systems, and also the service providers of virtual assets, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Kenya has witnessed increased adoption and use of virtual assets, particularly in payments and investments, over the years. And these assets present very good opportunities to promote digital finance, boost commerce, especially e-commerce, and even create a new class of digital jobs, Honorable Speaker, and our young, innovative young men and women in our universities and those graduating from our middle-level technical colleges and technology colleges have an opportunity to explore the digital jobs that come with this virtual assets, Honorable Speaker. Unfortunately, Honorable Speaker, the benefits of these virtual assets have also been challenged by cybersecurity risks, data privacy risks, fraud, and scams in the country. Honorable Speaker, the best case example is a WorldCoin episode about, was it a year or 2 years ago? And remember, Honorable Speaker, the hula baloo that was there at KICC with WorldCoin and Bitcoin. But Honorable Speaker, those are the challenges that will come with these virtual assets. Questions that touch on not just cybersecurity, but also data privacy. And you remember the challenges then with WorldCoin was on data privacy. And the challenges that were there in where are you taking this data that you're collecting, including the things we're getting from people's eyes. And a lot of private data, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, such issues, challenges with data privacy, cybersecurity risks, fraud, and what are outright scams, because a lot of Kenyans, again, have been scammed, being told we are selling you Bitcoins. Some that are just Ponzi games that are sponsored by innovative people in the fraud industry, because also fraud is a very huge industry, Honorable Speaker. And you know, many of those people, including some, Honorable Speaker, who are in our space, who are involved in what has been christened wash. The wash industry, Honorable Speaker, you know, was a very big industry and has been a big industry. And these people are now graduating in the wash business into the virtual assets industry, Honorable Speaker, and scamming very many Kenyans and especially those who are after a quick shilling or a quick buck get scammed, Honorable Speaker. And it's therefore important that we have a legal and regulatory framework that relates to the use of virtual assets and related activities in the country, so that we stem this fraud, the challenges on data privacy, fraud, and cyber security risks, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in December 2015, the Central Bank of Kenya issued a public notice cautioning the public against virtual currencies such as Bitcoin, citing the risks in operating in an unregulated environment. The notice highlighted concerns around the lack of legal protections, potential misuse of money laundering and terrorism financing, and the speculative nature of these assets due to their lack of underlying value, any underlying value. Consequently, Honorable Speaker, the Central Bank of Kenya prohibited all financial institutions from engaging in or facilitating virtual currency transactions through CBK's Banking Circular number 14 of 2015. Honorable Speaker, when I speak about the lack of a regulatory and legal framework, these are challenges that we have lived with. That it took the Central Bank of Kenya through that legal notice, their circular number 14 of 2015, to caution financial institutions from engaging in virtual assets, Honorable Speaker. But truth is, we cannot function in isolation of the rest of the world.
You know that woman in there and whoever she works for, want you dead or alive?
Who's in there?
Caroline.
What? Caroline ule moja.
Please, haki mnishutu. Msinitese.
It's upon you to do your work so that you can redeem yourself. Sawa?
Me, redeem myself.
Those files and hard disk contain all transactions between Mzee and powerful politicians.
Why are you coming to see your daughter looking like that?
And who are you supposed to be?
Can you leave before I call the police?
You search for the feeling too. You stare at the ceiling too. Alright, cool, I'll feel it too. You search for a meaning too. Lately my sky's been grey, but I need it blue. I feel myself changing. Think I like these changes. I went through some phases. I outgrew these cages. Some of my friends turned strangers. That was so heartbreaking. I feel my heart breaking. So much isolation.
To be fair, that is not cool. My heart's in bits and I try to get it fixed with the wrong pool. You know that it's on you. Family and money, yeah, it's on you. The weight of the world, yeah, it's on you.
I don't like how I'm feeling today. Woke up still feeling away. Can't smoke this feeling away. I can't shake this feeling. Lord, I need healing today. Lord, take these demons away. Hold me down. Lord, you keep leading the way. Hold me down. I just need some holding down. When there's nobody around. When it falls into the ground. Hold me down. Hold my shield and hold my crown. Hold my armor, hold my sword. When you see me breaking down. Hold me down. I just need some holding down. When there's nobody around. When it falls into the ground. Hold me down, hold my shield and hold my crown.
sword when you see me breaking down. I'm on the edge, I'm on the edge. I'm not ashamed to say I cried today. I didn't have no pride today. Let all out, let all out, let all out, let all out, oh. Sometimes I wonder how it all went so wrong. I wonder what they'll say when I'm gone. I'm tired, but I'll make one more song. Let all out, let all out, let all. Don't like I'm feeling today. Woke up still feeling away. Can't smoke this feeling away. I can't shake this feeling. Lord, I need healing today. Lord, take these demons away. Hold me down. Lord, you keep leading the way. Hold me down. I just need some holding down. When there's nobody around. When it falls into the ground. Hold me down. Hold my shield and hold my crown. Hold my armor, hold my sword. When you see me breaking down. Hold me down. I just need some holding down. When there's nobody around. When it falls into the ground. Hold me down, hold my shield and hold my crown. Hold my armor, hold my sword when you see me break.
Love me like you love your Benz. Hold me like you hold your gems. Smoke it like you do your blems. Roll me up and breathe me in. Black card of the platinums. Rep me like you rep your ends. Love me like you love your Benz. You can't do all this alone.
Your body so 10, you don't step in no gym. Make me wanna get the purse where the letter C's twin. It's a secret, don't tell none of your friends what we did. Love me how I love the fact none of my enemies lit. But in the back of the G-Wag, I mean that. Had a thing for me back when I was tagging up them G-packs. Look in your eyes, wash her down below. Steady putting pressure on your kneecap. Sliders from Hermes, that's probably where her feet's at. Bracelets from Cartier, you ain't gotta put that on your wish list. Careful what you wish for. Goya, tote bag, ain't trying to keep you indoors. I say free the guys, but I won't tell you what they're in for. You keep saying I'm toxic. Second place niggas like your pics on the gram, but it's me that sees you topless. Be acting like you don't love going back and forth so good. I think that they should nominate you for the Oscar.
Love me like you love your Benz. Hold me like you hold your gems. Smoke it like you do your blems. Roll me up and breathe me in. Black card of the platinums. Rep me like you rep your ends. Love me like you love your Benz. You can't do all this alone. Love me, la la, la la la, love me. You know I'm real selective with my time. But for you, I'm crossing every line. Imagination running to your location, coming. Gotta make sure that you make it home tonight. Love me like you love your Benz. Hold me like you hold your gems. Smoke it like you do your blems. Roll me up and breathe me in. Black card of the platinums. Rep me like you rep your legs. Love me like you love your Benz. You can't do all this alone. Love me, la la, la la la, love me.
Never knew how hard it get. Never knew it come to this. Real dark places where I've been. After all, I'm amazed that I conquered it. Came from no shootout. Tell them book the stage, ready for the blow the roof out. Walk from out my cage, tell my silly that I moved out. I ain't noticed I was at my life, but that they knew about. Grandpa, how you been, man? May 25, doing time, I'm a grown man. Stand inside my ass, tell no lies, I was fumbling. I was too that far, rolling hard off of one. Tryna find my way without no compass. I wake up every day on my cake by doing dumb. Tell her that she was fake, you ain't my bae, you ain't no one, man. I about a fake, look at my face, I ain't funny. I was chasing after something that I ain't wanted. I say I face it head on, ain't no running. I'm the king of the jungle with some prisoners end up rumbling. Had to learn everything, ain't finna get solved with my money. I got it all, but tell God I'm needing something. Never knew how hard it get. Never knew it come to this. Real dark places where I've been. After all, I'm amazed that I conquered it. Whoa, oh, oh. I don't know what it is holding my soul, but I won't give in no more. say what my get. People come around just for my life, start thinking clear, I ain't like that. Don't I need people supposed to be around with my sister? Same day I give them 50 grand, same day they stealing out my bag. Same day I pop like 20, they don't remember where I'm at. But I say no, my hoe. I bought a brand new home with new locks on the door. Got a brand new phone, all the contact with privacy jet out in front with my wife chasing low. Yo, dog, say the life he don't need no more. Stay gon' ride with the sword, I say this is my choice. I don't know what it is holding my soul, but I won't give in no more. I gotta go big for my kids, you gon' hit any song. I got the king, pop my you try to stop it, not. We gon' start this out with some shots, I already know how top it. Tell them it's been hard for me to cope, I don't get no about no. My son, mama snorting. I ain't falling out too many flows. I'm hearing about my folk. Know with the fire where I reside. You can see the pain all in my eyes. Know you see the growth the way I strive. I done made it out, but most of them nights inside I sat up and I cried. I've been holding on for the longest. I ain't had no seat, but on the ride. I grab them sticks and I ride. What you know about that? Played I murder most of them guys. I ain't gotta speak about that. I was bumping people when I was high. Gone off a styrofoam bed. Admit I'm tired. You got a gangster. I ain't trying to be with all them.
Please stay focused. Don't get tricked off the streets. You know so many's depending on you. They be touching me, but I just be like, I'm already knowing. I'm trying my best. I am not perfect, believe me. Yeah, God made me with flaws. Put his name in my songs. Put my pain in his palms, my God. I'm gonna always stand tall through the rain and the storm. Don't leave me out here alone, my God. We went through that home, we grew up on our own. If you ain't come through when I needed you, don't call my phone. Don't need no yes man around me, tell me when I'm wrong. I've been through way more than you've been through, but you ain't know. I was suffering in silence, stuck to my plans. Play with me, he dying, that's on my mans. And it ain't even gonna take much, just like 5 bands. I be staying out the way, gotta be here for my fam. They be telling me like, please stay focused. Don't get tricked off the streets. You know so many's depending on you. They ain't touching me, but I just be like, I'm already knowing. I'm trying my best. I'm not perfect, believe me. They don't know about the we've been through. They don't know about what we had to get through. They don't know about that real life pain. On your knees begging God to come through. How would you feel if you was in my shoes? When you can't call nobody, it's just you. Real ain't gotta say they real, but I'm a real baby, it's true. And I'ma get through. 16, going to school with a pistol. Pops got killed with the they just do. Left way too soon, I still needed you. I'm tripping like what you want me to do. They like, please stay focused. Don't get tricked off the streets. You know so many's depending on you. I'm already knowing. I'm trying my best. I'm not perfect, believe me. Yeah, God made me with flaws. Put his name in my songs. Put my pain in his palms, my God. I'm gonna always stand tall through the rain and the storm. Don't leave me out here alone, my God.
She just wanna dance. She don't wanna romance, no, no. Nothing too serious. She won't let nobody watch it. She the life of the party. And I really like the way that she put it on me. It's the way that her body talking. Ain't even got speak. Come a little closer and put it on me. Let's go drop it low, low. I need some more. Let's go drop it low, low. Let's go drop it low, low. Got me like whoa, 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 whoa. Let's go drop it low, low. Can you take it to the ground like this? Can you pick it up slow like this? Let's turn around real quick. I'm trying to see what you're working with. Can you take it to the ground like this? Can you pick it up slow like this? Let's turn around real quick. I'm trying to see how you're pulling nobody watching. See the life of the party. And I really like the way that she put it on me. It's the way that her body talking. Ain't even got speak. Come a little closer and put it on me. Let's go drop it low, low. I need some more. Let's go drop it low, low. Let's go drop people. Ain't no need to lie to me. Woke the beast inside to me. Off the leash, now time to play. Now staring my demon down night and day. Say cut me deep, now look at the wound. Held my own, got something to prove. For my son, I should never fool. Say try to do better, got something to lose. They the fame, I don't want attention. Doing this music just so people listen. Switching the floor, but still the same message. Too many colors, but you see the MS. When the bed through, yeah, we sliding against it. Don't give a who ride with missing. You said that you gon' slide, okay? Don't know why you tried to play. How about we don't slide to me? We trying to be hollering away. I rose from the deal with some wicked decisions. You looking like zombie food. I play with them pistols, kaleidoscope visions. The trenches I planted my roots. They say the light, them leaving decision to making couldn't the die every day. Grinding my city, you gotta be with it. Can plot either way. So my right next to me. Dropping, yeah. Try to stay away from beefs inside of my people, yeah. The light, them living decision to making die every day, Grinding my city, you gotta be with it, can plot either way, To my right next to me, can dropping, yeah. Try to stay away from beefs inside of my people, yeah. We getting noticed, said the goal to survive. I know the struggle hurt, but know that it's time. Say, have to thank you for life in the midst of fight of my pride, but I know I can't give up. Darkness to shine through the light, I can't give up. They say the la 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 la. Say, I'm this market, the X market target, please find yourself safe to do. It ain't no more talking, we kill him regardless, your head is detached from you. I bang on his ass and I do my little dances like, Got his little with her hands in her pants, it's like, They say the light of them living decision to making the die every day, Grinding my city, you gotta be with it, can plot either way, To my right next to me, can dropping, yeah. Try to stay away from beefs inside of my people, yeah.
Get it? Text a message, I don't know the number. Flexing on these niggas, every bone and muscle. Steady taking shots, never hurting them. Even then, y'all don't worry nothing. And I like to give a shout out to my niggas with the game plan. And shout outs on my niggas with escape plans. 20 bands, rain dance. We can either rain check or we can make plans. Pockets loaded, rocket loaded, can't let's rock and roll this. Time to go, lock and stock and two smoking barrels locked and loaded. Diamonds glowing, chop climbing on them. You think I'm jumping out the window, how I got them open. Line around the corner, line them up the block and over. Sometimes I even stop the smoking when it's time to focus. My shade, Dior, my pants, below. Create, explore, expand, concord.
I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord and break the law. I take what's mine and take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord and break the law. I take what's mine and take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. Yeah. I sold the pack, the loose, the hard. Yeah. I listen to X, I beat the bars. Yeah. The snakes, the rats, the cats, the dogs, the games, a trap. Protect your heart. Yeah. I waited in line, return, refine the new design. It's time to shine, to shine, to shine, to shine, to shine. I hustle, I flex, the world is mine. So please believe, allow the grease. These disease, don't speak, we squeeze. I make the devil go weak, the knees. You hate, you're lame, you lost. I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord and break the law. I take what's mine and take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord and break the law. I take what's mine and take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours.
She came, I came, that was my name, my chain, my pants with the chain. They know it's me, the hat and the shades. They heard my voice and they ran to the stage. My bands, my braids, my mans, my babe, my girls, my ex, my hoes that I left. You wait, I step out the car, that's a flex. Get thanks, get fresh, raise the love and finesse.
I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord and break the law. I take what's mine and take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord and break the law. I take what's mine and take
fire, bitch, that got pistols, no wood. I want that I'm making good. Helicopter chopping with the buzz. Stuff them rats inside them if they nudge. Bang that other side, curse. And my reefer louder than a speaker. Yeah, my niece is hanging with the Beatles. If you ever find a better keeper. 37 cameras for the sneakers. Going out like Ox or Benny Siegel. Send the cop, I can't wait to mistreat him. Force yo, I can't wait to mislead him. And beat them, they my people. That's my best friend, that's my best friend. Bless me. Big old booty, my message from Texas. What's necessary? I'm a mosquito, gonna get you. And that's my bestie, my best friend. Go best friend. Living TTG and everything is still on fleek. Baby rolling with me, she gon' smile cause she on fleek. $100,000 out my pay, my don't bleed. Yeah. Let me tell you how I spent a couple hundreds today. I done cut back on that lean, I'm on that hand, I'm do say. Don't do no talking when you say you better shooting it fake. I got 100 that can't wait to replay. Michael Jackson, moonwalking. The slime pour me 2 shots. Neon, go them bullying at the bull stop. No, I can't get arrested, cause I'm talking about my neck. I'ma put that in the pot. I'm a dog, they get stuck. My little sister's daughter, we don't like it. Chums and give me love. But I'm cut, in your cup. Come my bud, bring my buck. Your crew suck, don't got bucks. These ain't, no. That's my best friend, that's my best friend.
I'm a villain that's winning. With precision, I'm killing. Represent the religion. Ended up independent. Took my car to the clinic. Let them check all the vitals. Rival, Michael Jackson, my idol. Still ducking the pothole. Talk to the plug every day. It's up Cinco de Mayo. I still got me a Carlo. Still got Monte Carlo. Your car running so bad it's think up the Apollo. Call my Rollie a Rollo. Call my AP a Al. I ain't talking seat belts when I say that I'm strapped. I'm in love with my sneaker through the side though. I'ma show you what we ride for. I'ma show you what we die for. Gang, and we bout to go up. Switching lanes, it's a thing every time we show up. You a lame, and you so below us. You know us, cause you know we go up. Stay down. Came up. Stay down. Came up. Gang up.
I'm in that same lane, it ain't gon' ever change. I blow the brain out the range like a Taz angel. Yeah, I beat the car, walk on home, he got it stained up. We had your main on us, now we got stains on us. And all we gotta do is stay down and come on while they flexing. Yeah, I got a Indian, she Western. Yeah, I just had sex with one of your best friends. Then that Fast and Furious started nesting. Yeah, I'm about to go take over, yeah. Did you stand? Is you rolling like us rolling? Yes, you are. You ready to take over like a 1980 Coke? Yes, you know that Instagram. You gon' post it?
I'm with the gang, yeah. We bout to go up. Switching lanes, it's a thing every time we show up. You a lame, and you so below us. Cause you know us, cause you know we go up. Stay down. Forever. Came up. Come see me. Stay down. I got exactly what you need. Came up. Gang up.
Yeah, I'm always with my gang. We always ready to ride, cause for the squad we'll do anything. Stay down, we'll never change. We always gonna stay the same. Put you in check when you out of place. I try to tell them not to mess with my gang. We do what we gotta do and don't complain. Wanna roll to probably fresh up off the plane. Know you worried about me, I do my thing. I got the word on my back. I put your girl on her back. I did it all on my own. Now there ain't no turning back. And my whole spark on my back. And shorty so bad I asked her if she rep the gang. She said facts. Gang.
And we bout to go up. Switching lanes, it's a thing every time we show up. You a lame, and you so below us. Cause you know us, cause you know we go up. Stay down. Came up. Stay down. Came up. Gang up.
Me if you can.
count up all the blessings. Just flew out of Europe cause I need to do some resting. Feel I had a vibe, presidential, no election. Impulsive with my mind, no return on second guessing. Add a couple O's to the deal, it's a winner. Michelin star, kind of meal, it's a dinner. I'm not one to test, watch your jaw, I'm thinner. Blinded by the lights, dry your eyes, my skinner. Switching lanes too far. Had to walk so far. That was always the plan. Catch me if you can. Okay, $1 million smile shit, baby, that's the brand. Going at your mom, yeah, she know who I am. Money so obsessed, like it's my biggest fan. Sitting at the top playing, catch me if you can. Don't bother hating, Verstappen in pole, ain't no point in all the racing. Know that I'm a 10 when I go to 8th grading. Hyperbolic chamber when it's time to give a fading. Been the #1 on top for a minute. Never had to stop, so I don't got a limit. Lying up the world, ain't nobody gonna dim it. Even if a block hit a come, I'ma kill it. And it ain't gon' change. New ring, new stage. Me and me alone, I stand. Catch me if you can. Okay, $1 million smile shit, baby, that's the brand. Going up your mom, yeah, she know who I am. Money so obsessed, like it's my biggest fan. Sitting at the top playing catch me if you can. All day, always knew I'd make it never too late. Coming through quick like a tidal wave. Crept up on the game, now you're wide awake. Make no mistake, I'm here to stay. You above me, no way. Couldn't even do one day. Nah, no way. Nah, no way. Okay, $1 million smile shit, baby, that's the brand. Going up Shamar, yeah, she know who I am. Money so obsessed, like it's my biggest fan. Sitting at the top playing, catch me if you. $1 million smile shit, baby, that's the brand. Going up Shamar, yeah, she know who I am. Money so obsessed, like it's my biggest fan. Sitting at the top playing, catch me if you.
I come from the pieces of a broken world where the pieces always disturb, but they sweep this all under the rug. What you see is all the things above the surface. They get nervous when a man get deep. Came from the dirt so we can't stay clean. Straight to the work so the man don't sleep. I'm wide awake, yeah, I'm getting high today. I'm just trying to hide the pain, I'm fine, okay. We're trying to fly today. Let's go on a holiday, got none to lose, but we got a lot to gain. Come and say hi to me, don't lie to me. We don't know how to moderate. We cannot hide the ways my cannons get loose. We aim it at you. You blocking the way, but shooters gon' shoot. Ain't no one here safe. Yeah. You know it's the truth. You know it's the truth. Ain't taking no breaks. Ain't taking no breaks. Hit the gas and move. My cannons get loose. We aim it at you. You blocking the way. But shooters gon' shoot. Ain't no one here safe. You know it's the truth. Ain't taking no breaks. Hit the gas and move. Oh my God, I'm a god. What that ain't been before. We get high for the Lord. Holidays while we home. Oh my God, I'm a god. What that ain't been before. We get high for the Lord's holidays while we home. Trying to get a hold of my mood, trying to get ahead of my views. I shape my sight, more than fun and pain and abuse. But it's up to me to go choose if it keep me in chains. If I let it keep me confused, if I let it fully consume my thoughts and my ways. Maybe I'ma come out okay, maybe I'ma end up on the news with a bullet in my head. Maybe I can change it with a bread, maybe I can change it with a coupe, riding with the top down. Back to give you doing donuts while I tongue go in the loop. Maybe I should just pray, maybe there's some power in the prayer. Maybe hit the temple low too, maybe God don't care. Maybe I'm the only one here, maybe it's just me and you. My cannons get loose. We aim it at you. Click, clack, you blocking the way. But shooters gon' shoot. Ain't no one here safe. You know it's the truth. Ain't taking no breaks. Hit the gas and move. My cannons get loose. We aim it at you. You blocking the way. But shooters gon' shoot. Ain't no one here safe. You know it's the truth. Ain't taking no breaks. Hit the gas and move. Hit the gas and
I got too much to live, no time to forget. You chrome me, I got this shit on my head. You grown, shit, no, I don't got time for this. Alone, you just wanted somebody caution. Tryna know what I'm on, ready know that you gon' hit me like. Tryna know when I'm gone, come and touch down in your city like. Thought of being alone, ain't no one there tryna blow the light. Welcome mine on my soul, probably won't go hold with your side. I got too much to live, no time to forget. New chrome, yeah, I got on my head. You grown, shit, no, I don't got time for this. Alone, you just wanted somebody that might say crazy shit, they think we playing. A lot of my head is just replaying. Forever, she telling me, keep saying. I hate from the back and now she saying. I roll up the pack and now she saying. I keep it a stack and now she saying. Spend a minute back and now she saying. Tell her I'll be back and now she saying.
Pulling new foreigns right off from the dealer. Got the best jury, got the best killers. Humble yourself when you next to them. Y'all get done in front of y'all. Why would I lie to you? I do not fear you. 10K earrings, I cannot hear you. This a V12, you not gonna get near us. A friend, man, go get to the chicken. Pulling new foreigns right off from the dealer. Got the best jury, got the best killers. Humble yourself when you next to them. Y'all get done in front of y'all. Why would I lie to you? I do not fear you. 10K earrings, I cannot hear you. This a V12, you not gonna get near us. A friend, man, go get to the chicken. You know we show the out when we show up. You know these get hit and get no love. Oh, he ain't play, he ain't raising his kids. Why he ain't play with me? He ain't gonna grow up. Can't even lie. I hate that I fell out with that's supposed to be here till it's finished. Hey, when I meet, and they cool, and then out of nowhere start acting like got up, friends disappeared. I'm like, never did go missing. Knew I was gonna get some thousands. Didn't expect all these millions. She say she want me to pay her. Paid the no attention. Drive Maybach. It's like, which one is that? The big one. Pulling new foreigns right off from the dealer. Got the best jury, got the best killers. Humble yourself when you next to them. Y'all get done in front of y'all. Why would I lie to you? I do not fear you. 10K earrings, I cannot hear you. This a V12, you not gonna get near us. Friend, man, go get to the chicken. Pulling new foreigns right off from the dealer. Got the best jury, got the best killers. Humble yourself when you next to them. Y'all get on in front of y'all. Why would I lie to you? I do not fear you. 10K earrings, I cannot hear you. This a V12, you not gonna get near us. Friend, man, go get to the chicken. Y'all boys know who got the D-lock. If I ain't supposed to fit, re-rock. Who said rappers T-not 20 plus 10 in the G-lock? You know what they caught me doing, not what I got away with. Look, eat, run up, throw a punch, 10 milli going off. Who told these we box? Would Javante him, but it's 2025, bro. You're gonna get popped. Like I got a parlay on the plug. I'm hoping he get us them blocks. LV shirt, LV socks, 500 P's of the eyes just crop. They broke, they hate them. Ain't ops, they piss me off. Mama's a drop. I'm G7, but I'm the waviest. Banging face, flying up Davidson. Raising canes, that chicken and stay when I'm spraying ankle. You better not play with it. I'm G7, but I'm the waviest. Banging face, flying up Davidson. Raising canes, that chicken and stay when I'm spraying ankle. You better not play with it. Pulling new foreigns right off from the dealer. Got the best jury, got the best killers. Humble yourself when you next to them. Y'all get up. Why would I lie to you? I do not fear you. 10K earrings, I cannot hear you. This a V12, you not gonna get near us. Friend, man, go get to the chicken. Pulling new foreigns right off from the dealer. Got the best jury, got the best killers. Humble yourself when you next to them. Y'all get on in front of y'all. Why would I lie to you? I do not fear you. 10K earrings, I cannot hear you. This a V12, you not gonna get near us. Friend, man, go get to the chicken.
God, who am I? Praying to the sky. I'm anxious and I'm desperate. I be wishing that I crack. Tired of situations, I be wishing that I died. Top, why you keep complaining? You'll forever be my child. Living wild, father. This is not how I was raised up. Ops wanna frame us, they wanna hang us. I'm sorry for my thoughts and actions that ain't to your liking. Man, I'm scarred, this ain't no facades, I don't really like me. I don't know who I can run to, I don't know where I can run and hide. Your intentions will get you dead, I feel alive. Gangsters approach and look what this come to. They telling me I'm that guy. While up inside, I'm still holding all the feelings of a child. Thugging at his finest, murder at all times. Hustling at his finest. All my life I've been trying to get it right. I don't need you up and leaving me. I need you here, oh I pray on my knees at night so the angels see. I am not who they saying I ain't. Running from my birthplace. Lord, it been an earthquake. Trusting my fire, oh I believe some peace. Can you say when it's on the way? Oh baby, let me, can you feel like you do? My job got us fussing, I've been hustling all for you. I done got up in some trouble, but can't tell you what I do. What I done or what I did, I don't give a f. I speak the truth, I take my stick, blow out the roof. I made a T-top out the coupe, from Katie Car to a Bentley. I don't trip, they laughing in my pain. I worry God as I'm sinning. Scared in my chain and swear to God that I'm winning. But I've been losing, paranoid, might be my boy trying to get me. Stuck in prison, this system snorting inside my nose. So I noticed that I'm tripping, I'm the one who got control. I made me 8 million whole time that I was down, I don't give a f
about no money, might still catch me with a frown. Might still catch me with my wife. I'm in arguing on a white block with the threat stays, even though I'm with Southside. Grandma passed away, so on FaceTime that night, that morning she died. Tell me when it's coming, I've been waiting for it. I know you hear me. Thugging at his finest, murder at all time high. Hustling at his finest, since all my life I've been trying to get it right. I don't need you up and leaving me, I need you here, oh I pray on my knees at night so the angels see I am not who they saying I ain't. Running from my birthplace, Lord, it been an earthquake. Trusting my fire, oh I believe some peace. Can you say when it's on the way? Oh baby, let me, can you me like you do? My job got us fussing, I've been hustling all for you. I done got up in some trouble, but can't tell you what I do. What I done or what I did, I don't give a f***. I speak the truth, I take my stick, blow out the roof.
If you don't see me in M-Town, I'm jet bound, lighting up a next crowd. I'm a vet now, must have forgot young Shelly got bars, cause I went on top charts, boy I never put the pen down. Kept my soul, I just sell my rhymes. Watch face full of boogers, I can smell the time. If we're talking top 5 and you don't say my name, then you're tripping on the kid and let me tell you why. Cause I'm the only rapper that be having it his own way. What your mum, dad, sister or your bro say. I'm the only rapper that can run a track with Hollow Man and go and shut down Etihad with Coldplay. I'm the only rapper telling rappers they can't chat to me. Same week, raise 150 bags for charity. I'm the only rapper that ain't capping with his chest. I'm the only rapper left. Grizz 8, Liz-Irons, this Driz 8, Riz-Im, shell it then I skizz 8, H-E go, Blizz-Ind, all them man a fizz-ache, hate Miz 8, Liz-Eyes, I'm running to the kids-ache, snakes get left behind. Maybach, Porsche, Range, Benz for the drought, don't even get me started what I spent on the house, so if I ever send shots it's cause I'm f***ed off, what the f*** I look like, I ain't sending for clout. I was 16, went and turned a Benz to an ounce, tell the plug I wait for you like Thames is about, fam I only talk sense, I ain't censoring now, must be senseless, you 2 cents send them out. I've been repping for my city, little scally about the action. Tax them, if it's up north I get a fraction. It's like the game got too gentrified. I'm one of the only money still rapping with an accent. Blast them, picking them off at random. No ops, we kinda seen a gangster throw a tantrum. Still on a block with riders, boy don't try me cause I'm handsome. Doing this thing for time, that's why my wrist look like a lantern. 7 summers, here's the 7 others. I can make a hit song, I can clearly bury brothers. If I pull up on your wife I'll be fair and use the but I'm daddy for the night and I swear that's on my mother's. It's hard trying to figure out the ratio. Should I wrap my off or hit the radio? Should I try and hide my face on every day I go? Should I get a pillow princess or a crazy? Should I get another M or go and spend one? Should I link her or ask her what her friend's on? Should I buy a house to chill in or get rent from? Should I let that boy live or should I send one? Yeah. Right on the plane, shoot dice on the mic, too tight with the game, on site with the rhymes, talk nice on my name. Since 2018 I brought life to the game. From the M-Town, Europe, States, even Zante. Cooking up with Sheeran on stage with a shanty. I've been up in gears, steady brushing up my peers.
I got, but I'm not Sheck West. Block, delete, then it's on to the next. The whole of the gang charged up like Prius. You see us, I know we ain't taking check. To the barman, bring the Azul. This bad one said, pour it down her neck. I can't count bars, but I'm counting checks. I used to trap, didn't get no rest.
Ain't that time, whip gets hot, I'ma take that fine. Don't tell me about puff, cause I made back mine. Bought so many rocks, I done came back blind. So many shots, had the table live. Try stunt on the gang, but you ain't that guy. 3 whips, 1 boat, all I need is a jet, boy, trust me, you ain't that fly.
Casamigo me now, take a shot if you're blessed. Julio done, rain is neff. Bella Scott let it put me to bed. High as a kite and I'm live on set. Smooth skin, waist slim. Hourglass shape with a figure of 8. She hates that I'm doing this music thing, cause I don't come home and I'm out till late.
Out till late, count this cake. Me and AJ spent a house in tapes. Fine, can't come to the shrubs cut. Too big so our outfit breaks. Got a tour bus fill up with 10s. I throw 4s up, big up the ends. I ain't mad if your girl wanna twerk, but it ain't gonna work. Where is your friends?
I like watching it shake like bass. Up, down, all over the place. I'll buy anything that you want, no lay. If you look this year and call it a day.
Block this bread, put it all in your case. Monaco main strip, I was balling away. 2 friends, one's riding her, and the other one's all on my
Casamigo me now, take a shot if you're blessed. Julio done, rain is neff. Bella Scott let it put me to bed. High as a kite and I'm live on set. Smooth skin, waist slim. Hourglass shape with a figure of 8. She hates that I'm doing this music thing, cause I don't come home and I'm out till late. Casamigo me now, take a shot if you're blessed. Julio done, rain is neff. Bella Scott let it put me to bed. High as a kite and I'm live on set. Smooth skin, waist slim. Hourglass shape with a figure of 8. She hates that I'm doing this music thing, cause I don't come home and I'm out till late.
Wanna be bad so bad and
now you got dirt in your name. Aye, don't get stuck in the mud, gang. And then you get bucked, and guys wanna beef you. Aside from that, see a LinkedIn, then I go. I'm really gonna ball like Chili and New Man. I'm different. When bro used to ask man out on the 2-man, I was there in an instant. Yeah, like steps where you do that for. I'm winning, coming like the battle of the door. When they ask me, are you sure? I'm sure. Don't ask me more. You snooze, you lose. Why you gotta be so lazy? You coming like babies, even they rock. But the guys try to project a plot. I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna give up. The proof I did up is rock. What a shock really came with a brand new bot. You wanna be bad so bad, and now you got dirt in your name. Aye, don't get stuck in the mud, gang. And then you get bucked, and guys wanna beef you. Aside from that, see a LinkedIn, then I go. You wanna make numbers, figure it out. When you tryna rap like Scooter, you ain't no or just keep listening to Buter. Let alone shooter, let alone bad man. You're really just a little insect like Ant-Man. And you're out here screaming gang, but the gang that you bang forward, hangman. They will slam you out. Will take your belongings when you do no wrongings to anyone that's about. I'm like, give me my money, I ain't being funny, I need all of that amount. Chasing this cheese like I'm cat and mouse. I really can't wait till I buy a house. She said she wanna see I'm like a gallery, so when are you taking me out? You wanna be bad so bad, and now you got dirt in your name. Aye, don't get stuck in the mud, gang. And then you get bucked, and guys wanna beef you. Aside from that, see a LinkedIn, then I go. You wanna be bad so bad, and now you got dirt in your name. Aye, don't get stuck in the mud, gang. And then you get bucked, and guys wanna beef you. Aside from that, see a LinkedIn, then I go.
First, blessings on blessings on blessings. Look at my life, man, that's lessons on lessons on lessons. I treat the beat like it's a reverend. I tell the truth like, Father, forgive me. These are all my confessions, man. This wasn't luck, it was destined. I done lost homies who been with me since Ed and Eddie, who flip like confetti. And then when you back, they back to call you dog. That shit can get petty. Don't get no dap to me now. Funny thing about talking behind my back is that it just keep coming back to me. Was off for a sec, now it's back to me. You mad at me? This ain't what I want, man. This what it had to be. This is that late night working after 3, man. This is why my old girl was mad at me. This why I'm your majesty, man. The click is the tightest, the poop the tightest, the drinks are the coldest, the future the brightest, the feet not divided, the love is divided, and I just gotta thank God that we got it. Bless. I don't know what I would do without a crew. Look like we robbed a bank, but all we make is deposits. Your profit with profit, oh God.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time, you know. I haven't had a good time in a long time, you know. I'm way up, I feel blessed. Way up, I feel blessed.
Straight up.
I'm way up, I feel blessed.
Straight up.
Way up, I feel blessed. I ain't gon' say that we back or nothing, cause that implies that we're back from something. If we're back from something, it's some checks you owe us. I expect that payment, nothing less or over. I don't need them favors that you asked me for. I could give 2 about where the Grammys go. I just gave out Grammys on my Instagram. Them OVO boys, the business, man. It is what it is. Trust me, you get what you give. Yeah. You gotta come to my side and see how we live. Yeah. I cannot see heaven being much better than this. Yeah. Blessings on blessings for me and my from the 6. Look at what we did. Yeah. Be quiet, I'm doing a toast. For that don't really do shit, I swear y'all be doing the most. Stop worrying about whoever's next. I am just worried about my mama worrying less. I think I'm famous enough. I don't need any more press. I am convinced I'm the only one left that's still doing it. Man. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, you know. I haven't had a good time in a long time, you know. I'm way up, I feel blessed. Way up, I feel blessed.
Straight up.
I'm way up, I feel blessed.
Straight up.
Way up, I feel
my
blessed.
grandma just died, I'm the man of the house. So every morning I'm up cause I can't let him down. Always down for the cause, never down for the count. I guess when your stars align, you do like the solar system and plan it out. So I'm going overtime on the overtime. Yeah, I'm not invested, but you can't attest it. $1 million goals managed to manifest it. The family never going anorexic. I pay my mortgage and electric. Never going under even with anesthetics. At the top of the rap game and progressing. Check after check, checking off my checklist. Trying to blow my cake, just know that's a death wish. No mistakes in life ever, it's only lessons. Feel like Shaq and Penny got back together. You tore the game apart, who put it back together?
I'm here for a good time, not a long time, you know. I haven't had a good time in a long time, you know. I'm way up, I feel blessed. Way up, I feel blessed. Straight up. I'm way up, I feel blessed. Straight up. I'm way up, I feel blessed.
Since the truth keep me traumatized, they try and compromise my condom size. So I Snapchat that whole shit. Try and see them, try and show them. And I swear to God, I hope they post it. I'm blessed. Even though I get slammed with lawsuits like Cardos, C-3POs like Star Wars. They want me by the road holding up cardboard, so I go extra hard on the hard floor. Right now I'm calling you from my home gym. Right after that, I'm gon' swim. Just did a couple laps in my home pool, and my daughter right there getting homeschooled. I'm blessed. And I was thinking about starting at my own school, a Montessori. And the hallway looking like a monastery, oh yes.
Nineteen nations will compete in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania 2024, which will be staged from 2nd to 30th August 2025. Amongst the 4 groups in the tournament A to D, Kenya is pooled in Group A, together with Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia.
Algeria from the set piece, the header is on target, but it's...
This unique competition featuring the best locally based players from across the continent definitely has something for everyone. Just bring your A game as you let it flow live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
They say the art without art would just be get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.